All right, this week's episode is with Dave Sypniewski. He's a hilarious human being and a beloved member of our snowboarding community. He was a pro snowboarder in the 90s, which we talk about, and then he became an industry heavyweight. He worked over at Transworld doing some editorial. Then he worked over in the marketing department at Burton when Sean White was a Grom. Tells some great stories about that. Worked over at Boost Mobile and then Thrasher magazine. He also worked in the beer industry at New Belgium and Fat Tire, spending a lot of beer money in the snowboard industry. He's one of those people at brands behind the scenes making it happen, and he has a high-level understanding of the industry. So it's really interesting to hear him talk about that. And in this show, he's brilliant talking about marketing, but then he also has that blend of telling hilarious partying stories. So I think you're going to like it. We get into his latest endeavor, Open, a startup beer company with a cool brand philosophy. He hates tail grabs. But before we get into the show, I got to say thank you so much to all the sponsors for coming on board. We had Woodward, Pub Beer, Bubs, Arbor, Yeti, and Nidecker. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show, as well as our Patreon members. You guys rule. Thanks for supporting the show. You can find a link on our website if you want to sign up for our Patreon. But let's get into it. The Dave Sypniewski episode. Here we go.
You are listening to the
Hey, MFM. See you on the lips. Back attack, dude.
Bon voyage!
Get that damn car off of the hill.
Slide down them big hills. You know what I mean? On the big, nice burgundy snowboard.
All right, welcome to The Bomb Hole, which is presented by Run Through a Wall, the greatest company on planet Earth. Today in studio, we got a great cast of characters co-hosting to my right. We got Blake Paul. What's happening, Blake?
What up? How we doing?
We're doing great. We got Silk D on production.
Also, what up? How you doing?
Love it that you're in here. And we got Baby Huey, Seth Hewitt, also co-hosting.
Honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
Love it. And the man of the hour, we got Dave Sypniewski. Hi, Dave.
Hi, thanks for having me. Thanks, everyone, for coming over.
What should we talk about, Dave?
Fuck. What shouldn't we talk about?
Let's just jump right into some hard-hitting topics. I spent some time with you on this trip to Michigan recently, and you did unload about your dislike for tail grabs. I think it's a good place to start.
Yeah, that's a great place to start.
Yeah.
It's a horrible place to grab your board.
Okay. Please elaborate.
But I think you guys are trying to set me up for failure here because you saw Scott Stevens' little tail grab rock jibbing shit that he posted last night. And you're going to challenge me. What about Scott? I'm sure there's people that can do a decent tail grab, right? Highly talented people.
What do you think Blake can?
I don't know if Blake's actually trying to grab his tail. I think his giant arm just falls there.
It's just what I look like when I do a straighter.
Yeah, I don't even think he's trying to grab it, just like touches by accident. But yeah, also not a fan of the nose grab either. I put that out there.
So it seems like if I'm honing in here, the grab's got to be between the bindings.
There's strategic places on the board that looks good. It just, I'm not. Again, some people like the Tesla Cybertruck. They think it's fucking bitchin'. They drive them around and get them wrapped and wacky things on them. I think they look like shit. I don't like them. It's just a personal preference. I don't think you're a bad person for doing a tail grab, but I think they're weird looking.
What do you think about a double tail grab?
Oh my God. I think that's like from the 80s. That's some lean Dracula shit. George Pappas. People you guys have never heard of. But back in the 80s, like getting extreme in the pipe was grabbing your board in two spots at once.
So you didn't say your opinion on it though.
Great at that time period. You don't need to do it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like, I'm not really a huge fan of the wacky skateboard either, like the crazy shape skateboards. Like just ride the normal skateboard. Like, but it's harder on this one. It's like, well, so that just means you have an excuse of not being good. Like just use the normal one.
Have you ever heard the saying "grab tail, checks in the mail"?
No, it's probably a little after my time.
Okay. So
Again, well, I mean, you opened it up. So
Yeah.
what's your opinion on a tail grab? Are you backing them? Is that your move?
oh yeah,
You're feeling it.
especially as you get older, getting between the bindings feels a little further away. The tail just comes on right up there, you know? So I'm a fan. Yeah.
I'm going to have to agree with
All
that.
right, let's talk about this. Ika Backstrom, front 5 nose. You're going to tell me you don't like that?
There's better tricks of his. Again, I'm saying, like, sure, people have sent me DMs like, look at Devin Walsh's tail grab here. I'm like, yeah, legit, that looked good. But it's Devin Walsh. Like, he can make anything look good. So I'm not saying that no one can make him look good. But it's kind of like, if you're a musician, why do you want to play ukulele when you can play a Strat? So I'm basically insinuating tail grabs at ukulele.
Okay, then what's the strat of grabs?
Just backside. You can just
Yeah.
grab backside.
All right.
And then backside, you can express yourself where on the board you're grabbing it. And that's my personality. And that's a whole show in itself. So we don't need to talk about that.
Okay. When's the last time you grabbed not between the bindings? And it wasn't like a method.
You mean between the toes? I grab between the toes a lot. I feel like this is a gotcha moment, but it's probably, I don't know if I ever grabbed my tail.
Did you grab this season snowboarding?
Yes.
Just front side?
Front side with a little tweak, just to be like, I still got it.
Mm-hmm.
About 7 to 12 inches off the ground, looking good.
Where at?
Mammoth. I don't think I grabbed it Bachelor because there was not really that much snow. Yeah, Mammoth I grabbed.
All right, we're going to jump right into a guest question from Curtis.
Thanks for
Season.
getting
Here we go.
That was worst transition.
Hey, Bombhole. Hey, Dave, Chris, Silk. Hope everybody's doing well. How's Silk's hair looking? Gorgeous, I'm sure. Dave, I got a 2-part question for you here. A couple years ago, we went on a heli trip, and you asked me to bring you a brand new snowboard. And what did you do with that brand new snowboard as soon as I gave it to you when we got there? And then question number 2 would be, I've known you for most of my life. I think we met when I was like 11 or 12 years old or something like that. And I just wanted to know if you remembered what the first thing you said to me was. I hope you got it. But if you don't, it was, have you ever seen a grown man naked? And for the record, I have not seen you naked. Just to clarify that for the listeners. But quite shocking at that age. All right. Love all of you. Hope it's a great ep.
Thanks for the question, Curtis. Part 1, I really like making people days and feeling good about themselves. And the trip to Alaska he was talking about, everyone up in Alaska works hard in the lodge. They clean up after you. They cook. They do all that shit. So I'm always like, hey, bring extra shit so we can give it to people working there. Sometimes you might trade for stuff. Like they may be so excited that you gave them a board, they may give you illicit drugs or something. But yeah, my kids will probably watch this, so we don't have to go too deep into that one.
Just hypothetical.
Hypothetical. And I don't remember asking him that question, but I also have said a lot of ridiculous things in my life. And people often go, do you remember when we were on the chairlift when I first met you and you said something ridiculous to me? So it's not funny. I don't know how to make this funny now. I feel like I'm here to perform. Tell me about being crazy.
Well, Dave, let's run it back to the early days of where you grew up and start there.
Okay, we're gonna keep it brief because I listen to a lot of bomb holes, and sometimes this goes on forever. So, born outside Chicago, worked at a ski shop that did skateboards and then snowboards called Outpost Sports. One of the guys that worked there was friends with Todd Van Belkom, who was an original Burton pro. I got a hand-me-down backyard from that guy. and learned how to snowboard on some dunes in Michigan. And that was like the first taste, and I was hooked. And then everything that's happened since then has just been a constant, how do I go ride more snow? So bunch of different things happened, went to Hood, just went there, got my driver's license, drove to Hood, hung out, didn't know what I was doing, got a job at the Rack cooking pizzas, didn't know how the camps worked. I think there was 2 camps at that time. And I lived in one of the campgrounds by myself and was just trying to make friends. But it was like so long ago, there was like maybe 1 half pipe between the 2 camps. And so that was interesting.
What years are we talking?
Fuck.
Roughly, just ballpark. You know to be exact.
Yeah, that probably was 88. That was 88.
Damn.
And then in 89, I got in a bunch of trouble. I split, went to Europe for a while just to check that out, came back, and a friend of mine got me a bus ticket to Oregon. And then I stayed in Oregon for like 10 years at Mount Bachelor. And then...
Hold on. While you're on that subject, Chris Owen has a question.
Oh,
about
God.
this. Here we go.
Hey, Dave. This is Chris Owen. Why don't you tell everybody the story about when you moved out to Oregon and the house you lived in before you moved in with Eggie and I? All right. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of funny stuff happening in this episode. Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks, Chris. I hope it gets funny soon because I am bombing it in the bomb hole. There's no humor at all. What Chris is referring to, and I was actually talking to one of my childhood friends the other day about this. I'd gotten this bus ticket from Chicago to Eugene, and it took 6 days of a bus ride. We got stuck in a snowstorm in like Kansas or Nebraska somewhere, and we're in a truck stop for like a day and a half. This is 89 now, and it was the most insane thing. When I got to Eugene, I'm like, this place isn't for me. And I hitchhiked over to Bend, and I'd called my buddy Greg. He drove out, met me. I used to think we just squatted in the house, but apparently we stayed in a motel for 5 days and then ran out of money. And we were looking for a spot to stay. And there was a house. They're like, oh, we'd like to rent you this, but it's condemned, so we can't. So we're like, oh, cool. We went and lived in that house for about 2 months and I got a job at Stuffed Pizza and met Iggy and Owen. And they came over and we're like, you guys fucking live here? And we're like, yeah. They're like, do you want to live with us? We're like, that's probably better. I went and moved in with them. So Florkowski slept on their couch for a season, and I made a room in the garage. And I, no concept of what money is or how things work. So I took an electric cord from their house out to the garage and I framed it in, no insulation, made a little room, and then had a heater going like 24 hours a day for 5 months. And then Iggy's dad comes over. He's like, why do you guys have a $3,000 electric bill? It's like, it's my fault. I have no way to pay you. Sorry.
So at this point, are you sponsored or anything? Are you getting any love?
No, Ned Silverman from Michigan, he was a GNU rep. He gave me boards. When I first moved to Bend, I was already friends with the Mervyn guys. And this guy, Ken, was actually in charge at that time. And he was a rad dude. I'd gone to see him that summer when I went to Mount Hood, and he gave me a GNU and a nitro asymmetrical race board. And I was pretty stoked on that thing. And he also gave me acid, which was weird. He was a deadhead guy. He was great. So I was friends with the Mervyn dudes. Like, they knew me as a regional guy. And then that season, I still had the nitro asym, but they sent me a couple Libtecs, and I kept breaking them. Not because I was radical, because I would like fall in the snow sideways, and then the tails would snap off. And then they're like, you can't have any more boards for a while.
Were you running soft boots or hard boots?
Soft boots, but one of the things I loved the most, because at that era you could get away with like hard boots and race boards, and everyone was doing it. Like, it was like a prerequisite that you could ride plates as well. But I would wake up, crack of dawn, go up to Mount Bachelor and do Skyliner on plates by myself, headphones blaring, Dire Straits, just like maybe tuned up, maybe not, but just turning all day until people started showing up. Then I'd go and swap out my shit and, then try and get freestyly.
Do you have a ponytail?
You know, I had what was known as a Euro tail. So it was more like a bob, but I couldn't put the ponytail up high ever. So I had it low. So I had a low ponytail. It was simpler times. Like it's fun. It's funny back then. Like if you listen to the Grateful Dead, you were kind of an outcast. But I moved in with Iggy and Owen, and they fucking loved it. And I'm like, well, I like them too. Who doesn't like doing drugs and listening to music? So we had that kind of bond. So I might have been influenced with like, oh, I'll grow my hair long because the hippies are doing it. But yeah, it never really stuck with me.
Oh, God damn it, Dave. Hard boots and a
it's Ninja FaceTiming me.
Is he?
Yeah.
Put the microphone into the speaker so he can hear you. You got to put the mic right into the thing. You won't be able to hear him.
Right.
I knew you would answer, Dave.
Dude, we're mid fucking thing through it.
There you go.
Well, I just wanted to call and, give you guys a pep talk.
All right. Well, it's going really bad. So if you're not going to help, you can either help. I'm just not funny. It's just not. It's not going great.
Are you being nice to people, or
He's being too nice.
Yeah, I'm being too. Billy called me. He's like, "Look, this is really important that you don't act like a jerk, and you present yourself well. Your kids are going to see this." So I'm trying.
I agree, but don't be a pussy either, because that's not you.
Yeah, no.
So let them have it a bit.
All right. Do you have a quick question before we go back to this podcast?
No, just let me listen in for a minute. I'll put it on mute.
All right.
All right, you know what? While he wants to listen in, why don't we hit up Ninja? Ninja's got a guest question in here somewhere. Here we go.
Hey, Bombhole. What's up, Dave? Blake? Grandies? Hope everyone's well. Sypniewski, why don't you tell the listeners about that one time you became the world border cross champion, or one of them anyways, and beat the likes of the mogul champ Andy Hetzel and a handful of others. Looking forward to hearing this one. See ya.
All right, Ninja, thanks for the question. And thanks again for being my teammate on the World Championship Bordercross team. I think they maybe did it twice. It was in Colorado. I think maybe Copper. I don't remember. But it was Jason McAllister, Adam Merriman, Ninja, and I. And somehow we beat all the big dogs for the Team Bordercross World Championship. And as luck would have it, they stopped doing that event and we remain world champions. So I got that under my belt. Fun fact, I also did bordercross in the X Games.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been on TV. Seth, have you?
I think this deserves a plaque.
Yeah.
He's reigning world champion right now.
Yep.
So
With
I think
with
the whole
Ninja,
team.
Merriman,
the whole
and
team.
Jason McAllister.
We got to have a plaque. I think we need a plaque.
So let's hear about this X Games experience.
Oh, the X Games was great. I don't know how I got into it the first time. Like this thing came in the mail like, hey, you're invited. I'm like, all right. And it was really exciting because I don't think anyone really had high expectations of me ever going to the X Games. So I'm like, I'll go. Fuck, bordercross is fun. And I especially enjoyed bordercross in the beginning of bordercross because it would be death-defying jumps. You know what I mean? Like if you fucking case it, you're spending the next month at home with a swollen up heel. Like they were dangerous courses and it was barred. But it was before people did like push-ups before. I remember the one guy like made a starting gate at his house and like would summer train, like, pulling out. They really jockified it. But border crossers are gnarly. And there's great ones. There's been great ones over time. Like, and people that can really snowboard well have done well at border cross. But yeah, I got invited the first year I went and I was kind of like, oh my God, do I belong here? I don't know. And then the South Bend Tribune wrote that I was in the X Games, and like my mom was so proud. She's like, "Oh my God, you're doing something!" Like, yes. And I did good enough to get invited back. And then the next year, I might have partied way too hard. Showed up the second time I did it, they did time trials to get your start gate slot, and I did not prepare. Did not wax a board. Just partied all night. Showed up, and I remember coming across the finish line. I'm like, fuck, I was hauling ass. I think I won. Like, I think I'm in first place. And Jason McAllister and Josh Dirksen were at the bottom. And I'm like, yeah, dudes, did you see that? Like, I think I'm winning. And McAllister's just like, you were going so fucking slow. There's no way in hell you're qualifying. And I'm like, oh. And then I figured out I was just too high and I had to go hide out in Dirksen's hotel room for 4 to 6 hours. And then I came back, and the only thing that made me feel better about myself for that performance was I looked up on like the who qualified board, and I'd actually beat like 6 people. Like, okay, well, wasn't the worst.
Are we talking Crested Butte? Like, yeah, Crested Butte.
Yeah,
X Games.
So the first one was when they did the
97?
moguls. Remember them? They started you through moguls. It was so sick. Like just a full mogul course. Jason Ford was in that one. He did great. But
well, we were talking. I'd love to hear your take on current contests, because you're talking about contests from the '90s, and where are you at in terms of the current landscape with snowboard contests?
You know, I love contests. Like, they're my favorite thing. Not only in snowboarding, like every sport that has contests, sign me up. I love watching it. And I think for me, in recent memory, the best snowboard contest I saw was the natural selection Jackson Hole Live. I mean, that to me is like, okay, that's what you do. Can they all be like this? And since then, it's just kind of like, oh, I don't know. Maybe it peaked for me because I watched the other natural selections and they're fun, they're great, but there was just something magical about that one. I don't know how you put the shit back in the cat. And then some of the other contests, like
figure of speech. I've never heard that before. But sorry, continue.
You never heard shit back in the cat?
I love it, though.
I was going with it.
Yeah, I love it.
Have you heard toothpaste back in the tube?
No, but these are good. Keep them coming.
Yeah. Well, when you become a grandfather, you learn these things. Like you hold the baby and they just morph into your brain.
Yeah.
Is this the first natural selection at Jackson you're talking about?
Yeah.
Blake did pretty good at that one.
Yeah, Blake did great. That little rock, backflip rock you were.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, before the contest, though, it was more fun to go in that gulch thing and watching all the natural selection participants rip the gulch a new one.
Oh, yeah, because you were there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was there, but I left before the contest started.
Okay. Yeah, just that whole week was like nonstop snowstorm.
Yeah, it was
everybody ripping. It
was perfect. But for me, I think I like watching snowboarding when it's as close to that pure form that the natural selection goes for. I think sometimes when I watch like slopestyle or half pipe, it's just so manicured and so perfect that it becomes a little bit of a different experience for me watching it, where I'm like, ooh, now it's like that element of having to deal with something different's not there. And I was thinking about it over this weekend. I was watching the golf, U.S. Championships of Golf. And U.S. Open, sorry. But they were playing this golf course that was fucking insane. Like, no one was doing good. Scotty Scheffler, best one in the world, couldn't even break par. Like, it was insane. And I was thinking about, like, the best golfers in the world have to go golf on the most horrible golf course, like, makes them look average. And I'm like, I like it when snowboarding's like that. I like it when it's like, you have to deal with the variances of it. Like, it's not a perfectly sculpted whatever. But again, I get it, right? Like, I try and ride whatever. What do you call the super pipes now? The super duper pipes?
Super pipes.
Those things are fucking scary.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You need them perfect because you're going to fucking die. And watching people ride them, it's death defying. And I'm into it. But I also like the idea of, like, you just ride what's there. And again, if you told me, hey, there's going to be a contest on TV where they're jumping next to the jump, and that's going to be a contest. And you're like, you're fucking high. But the knuckle hucking shit, like when I first saw it, I'm like, this is dumb. And then I'm like, wait a minute, that's awesome. It's like they're making something out of nothing, and it's rad. So
going back to your point, the U.S. Open of snowboarding, being on the East Coast, was like kind of that perfect representation of, generally shitty conditions, icy, not perfect.
Yeah, I think the U.S. Open of snowboarding, to many people, especially of my age, that was the perfect conditions no matter the conditions. So the same experience that we were talking about at Jackson when it snowed forever and everyone was ripping the gulch, they all did that at the U.S. Open. They would go ride that shitty Stratton Mountain and all have fun and do their thing. And then, the epicness in the pipe. If I had a brand and I had the money, I would definitely bring back the U.S. Open on the East Coast. Whatever the pipe looks like, that's what you get. Whatever the slopestyle course is, that's what you get. And you make it that again. And you treat it like pro golf. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the U.S. Open's here and this is what you're going to ride. And is it the super duper pipe? Maybe not, but everyone's on the same course. So it doesn't favor anyone.
Yeah.
Right. I would be excited to see that. The times they had the U.S. Open at Vail, it was like, and we sponsored it at Fat Tire. So I was there partying, having a great time, and it was fun, but it just was off. It just felt like, oh yeah, this is just a contest. Again, not against contests, love them, but sometimes you're just like, whatever, it's just a contest. Like if you ask me who won World Cup qualifiers, like, I don't know.
I got a question for you. As the person that holds the keys to the marketing budget at a brand like Fat Tire, which you once did, why support contests?
Well, that's a two-part answer. One, the reason a brand that's outside of snowboarding gets involved with snowboarding events is they're more or less trying to leverage that brand equity of what the sport and the people do and how you identify with it. So it's kind of that brand positioning you get out of it. So it's like, yeah, Fat Tire sponsored this event, and now there's this correlation between this brand as being a part of this community, right? So that's the short answer of why you would sponsor an event. Then the opportunity to influence the events, eventing's fucking hard. Like they're the worst. I did it at Thrasher a lot, and we did it, it was cheap and slick and easy. It's never easy. There's always something wrong. And you're always like, someone's going to get hurt. Who's going to take care of it? Who paid the insurance? All those things happen. So I admire people that are like, hey, let's do an event, whatever that is. The idea of getting involved in it, from a brand perspective, you have the opportunity of like, who do I want to participate with? Did that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. I like the kind of high level perspective from brand association with the snowboard culture, kind of connecting with the beer deal,
But I think there's a lot of companies outside of snowboarding and get involved in snowboarding that then, they try to put their stamp on it. Every brand's like, we're going to make this experiential thing at this thing. And it's like, well, that's already a snowboard thing. Like distracting from what that is over there by, your inflatable, whatever, beanbag toss thing. It's like, why are you even, you're here to watch them. So be a part of what they're doing. I think that's where people get caught up. So the times that you're like, oh, this feels off. I went to the X Games and it felt off. The Marines were doing pull-ups. It felt off. It's like, yeah, because they're, it doesn't really have anything to do with the seamless part of the snowboarding. But again, I think there's amazing contests out there, and I think there's a scale of contests that anyone can be involved in. So I was here with my family in the spring and took our son to Woodward to jump on the trampolines and shit, and they were doing the uninvited. And I sat there watching uninvited going, this is the fucking greatest. Like, not one person wasn't smiling, not one person wasn't having fun. There wasn't like these weird bells and whistles that were confusing anyone. All the focus was on the action. And like that, to me, that's what a contest should be. Like you want to be engaged in what's going on.
At Fat Tire, what brands or what events did you sponsor that you thought were important?
That's a great question. All of them that we sponsored were important, and the nice thing about New Belgium and my time at Fat Tire is everyone had a voice, right? So it wasn't like, hey, that guy's ego gets to decide what we're gonna do. So there was some stuff like we would sponsor that I didn't even know we were doing. And I'd be like, oh, that's sick. I'm glad we did it. So there was a lot of different input points, regional people, brand people, myself, so there's different events we would be involved in. And again, some of them are strategic because, we need to grow the brand here, or we need to get more customers. Some of them were like, we just want to be a part of this community. So, there's ones near and dear to my heart, like the Baker Bank Solemn. There's Uninvited. I think we did Soy Sauce
Nation?
Yeah, ask Mike. I think we gave him money. I'm not sure. I hope we did. But we also tried to do stuff like the Dust Box kids here.
That was cool.
Yeah. And
Be Somebody?
Yeah, and it was us talking to them and going like, what do you guys do? And they're like, what do you mean? We're like, so you buy clothes from thrift stores and put logos on them? That's your thing? And then you make these videos and you're like, yeah, like, you guys want to do anything else? You want to do a contest? And it was more instigating them of like, hey, you could do a contest. We'll help you. It's not that hard and it can be real fun. So yeah, that one was great. I really enjoyed that.
That was like a Thrasher, Buster, Bale kind of vibe.
Yeah, exactly. I think what Thrasher's done in terms of you can pick a spot, you can pay people. It doesn't have to be overproduced. You don't need, Chick-fil-A there. If they're there, it's cool. Not just in Chick-fil-A, but you can do these like quick hit contest things, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, Lizard King here. And I've got a fantastic new product for you. It's Run Through a Wall nasal strips. Eucalyptus flavored, 30 in a pack. And it will make your life 25% better. Do you sleep next to someone that's constantly snoring, ruining your life, making it so you're groggy, grumpy, and angry in the morning? Buy them some nasal strips from runthroughawall.com. It's a fabulous website. We've got breathing salts. We've got nasal strips. Go to runthroughawall.com, type in Lizard King at the checkout, and you can get yourself 10% off. Good to see you.
Okay, people, breaking news. Bombhole's doing Adult Camp Week at Woodward, August 10th to 15th. Now, if you're an adult that wants to go to summer camp, learn some new tricks, and have an awesome time, I highly recommend checking out Woodward Copper. We'll be there bringing the vibes. We're coming through with Seth Hewitt, Joey B, how you doing, myself. We're going to be having a blast on hill. They got some of the best coaches on planet Earth. It's also for all ability levels, whether you're a beginner, new to park riding, or you're an advanced rider. There's stuff for everybody. They got all different size features. They got the indoor facility in the barn. If you want to chuck on a rollerboard into a foam pit and then take it to snow, they got you covered. Great skateboarding setup. There's golf. You're at high elevation. The ball flies very far. So I recommend checking out coppercolorado.com, signing up for adult camp. We'll be there again August 10th to 15th for Bombhole Week. We'll see you guys there.
Walk us back through I grew up looking at magazines and I would see Dave Super Duper Dusky in magazines. I didn't know how to say your last name forever until finally someone told me. It was amazing. But anyways, walk us back through your whole thing. You were a pro snowboarder. Then where'd you go next? Because you just dropped Thrasher, Fat Tire, whatever. So kind of give the listeners a roundabout of
There's this guy, Sean Dunhill.
Where the hell are you coming from?
Who did the first Joyride graphics. Remember the flower?
Yeah.
He lived in Bend. He made a shirt once of a guy sipping a beer and then a little baby and a guy skiing so you could pronunciate my name. Sypniewski. It was a cool shirt.
Wait,
I wish I still
swear
had
to
it.
God, I
wish
saw
I still had that
that.
shirt. It was the best thing. But it's also I've also gotten Sipbrewski, Sniffglewski. Don't spit on my new skis. It's a fun name.
Sniffglewski.
Yeah, run through a wall.
It is. Your pro model Sniffglewski.
So my LinkedIn page is I was a sponsored snowboarder. That part of my life was really whatever I could do to travel the world, I was down for. Whatever, I don't know if I squandered my opportunities or I didn't take it serious or I was too insecure or whatever, but there was never a point in me where like, I'm going to be the best. It was always like, those guys are the best. I'm going to hang out with them because they're going to go to the best spots to snowboard. So I kind of built my time as a sponsored athlete of like, how do I get to go hang out with the funny people and enjoy traveling? And a lot of that time was spent with Yeti, which is just pure joy. And then I think I summed up my career once as I was filler. You got a guy at the beginning, guy at the end. There has to be people in the middle.
Middle part guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I built a career on being middle. But during that, and again, this is, almost pre-internet, I figured out pretty quick that these magazine trips, no one would ever want to write anything. And I'm like, oh, it's not that fucking hard to write something. I'll just take notes and write it. So I'd always raise my hand like, hey, I'll go with you guys. I'll write it. And then I got invited on trips and sort of built a little resume of like, oh, Dave can write shit. So when the sponsored dream sort of came to a head and it was like, hey, we're not really going to give you money anymore, from Mervyn, because Mervyn was my board sponsor, GNU, and they're like, hey, you could go be a rep in the Midwest. And I'm like, I don't think that's really what I want to do, because I was still on this thing of like, I want to fucking snowboard. It's so much fun. And this guy, Kevin Wilkins, who worked at Warp, you guys remember Warp? It became Stance and then went away. Kevin was my buddy, and I talked to Kevin, and he's like, yeah, you should work at Transworld. I'm like, oh, you think they'll hire me? Somehow I got the job at Transworld. Again, my memory.
What was your title?
Faded. Fuck, that's a good question. What's like the junior editor? I came in at the junior editor, and then I just kept, it was really weird. This is now, end of the 80s going into the 90s, end of the 90s going into the 2000s, right? And it was our magazines were like 380 pages. It was fucking insane. The money that was coming in the door, and so much of the writing wasn't writing. It was like, hey, ad guy runs in, I just bought another Ferrari and sold 18 pages. And we would try and balance the magazine of editorial against advertising. So it'd be like, dude, we're out of photos and we don't have anything to fill pages with. So we would have to make shit up. So I wouldn't say we were fine journalists, and there was very little oversight. And so pretty quickly I figured out that there was like this ceiling on the content guys. We didn't call it content then, we just called them, magazine workers. All the money was in the ad sales and the administration shit. So we're, the martyrs putting the mag together, working hard nights, being out there, and these, So I think I've quit like 4 times, and then they're like, no, we'll give you a new job title and 4,000 more. I'm like, okay. And that went on for a couple of years, but it was hard for me because I kind of held the job in contempt a lot of the time. Cause I was like, yeah, fuck those ad sales guys making all the money and fuck these people doing this. And I'm like, where's the money go? It doesn't go like when I started at Transworld, we were owned by the Tribune Corporation. And then they sold to Times Warner while I was there, right before I left. And I'm just like, who are these people? Like this idea of like, I work for Transworld, and it, the Balmas who started it, they're lovely people. I love Louise. They had this mission statement at Transworld where the mission statement was to grow and promote the sport of snowboarding. I'm like, that's a great mission statement. I want to be a part of this. And then I would just sit there going like, but all the money's going to these assholes. And they're like, I don't even know what they fucking do. Like, they don't snowboard. I've never seen them snowboarding, but they're pulling money out of it. So I would party in my office, show up late, go surf with Todd Richards, fucking work like 1 day a week just to get it all done. Like I wouldn't say I was the best editor, but I think I had an editor title.
So do you have a high school degree?
I have a general education's diploma.
Did you drop out?
Yes. I didn't drop out as much as I stopped going.
Okay. You got your GED later?
Yeah. So where I grew up in South Bend, like I was saying, I wanted to get rad all the time. So this shop that I worked at, Outpost Sports, the ones that introduced me in snowboarding, they're the ones that first brought skateboards to our little neck of the woods. So I was super into skateboarding, then super into snowboarding, but I also like learned to surf and windsurf on Lake Michigan. So I was always like trying to learn how to do these things. So the surf season at Lake Michigan's kind of that October to December when it freezes over time. So I would be up in Michigan trying to surf like with my plastic board and storm waves, whatever. So I was missing a lot of school, and then it'd be like, oh, well, with anything, if you kind of start to fuck off, it just falls apart and it's really hard to get back to it. So I wouldn't say I consciously said, I fucking hate school, I'm not going to go to it. But it was like, I kind of want to do this other stuff more. But I did consciously try and read books all the time.
Yeah, I like that.
To stay on top of it. And I went back, got my diploma. One of my best friends, his dad's like, I was 17, I'll never forget, Greg Gallagher's dad. He's like, you need to become a man. You need to join the military. And this is right when I got back from that trip to Oregon. I was in trouble. I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, my buddy Greg was going to go join Air Force Academy. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll just go join the Air Force and then we can be buddies in the Air Force. I didn't know how this shit works, right? Whatever. So I went to the Air Force recruitment office and I did all the testing, and apparently I did good on the testing. And I told the guy like, yeah, I'd like to, work on the airplanes or do whatever, maybe fly, you don't know what you're talking about. And the guy's like, okay, come back and do more tests next week or whatever day it was. So I went back and I did some more aptitude tests and that, and go and sit down with the guy. And it's like the final interview, like, we're signing the papers today. And I'm like, all right. So during the interview, the guy's like, okay, so I just have to ask, do you have a record? And I hadn't turned 18 yet, so I still had an open juvenile record. And I'm like, well, yeah, not bad, but we can get by. He's like, okay. And he's like, have you ever done drugs? I'm like, I don't know. I might have smoked weed once. He's like, oh, that's bad. Okay. He's like, are you sure? Anything else? I'm like, no, I think that's about it. So we go through more of the interview, and he comes back and he's like, hey, okay, I just got to ask again, because you said you smoked weed. Have you done anything else? And I'm like, well, might have tried a toot of cocaine or something once. The guy's like, oh, this is fucking horrible. And now he's visibly frustrated and he's kind of freaking out. And I'm like, oh, this is getting bad. And he's got the stack of papers and he's like kind of moving them around. And then the last part of the interview, I don't know if it was the end of the interview, but it was in our interview. He's like, okay, anything else you got to tell me? We will look at your FBI records. And I had gotten in trouble. And so I knew I had an FBI record because I was a juvenile. And I'm like, okay, well, I might have tried acid once. And the guy fucking picks up the stack of paper and just rips it in half. And he's like, throws them at me. He's like, you should go try the Navy. They'll take your type. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And yeah, so needless to say, I'm like, dodged a bullet there. Didn't fucking end up in a military service. And, I went out to Oregon, and a year later we're invading Kuwait and all this shit. And I'm like, what could have happened? Like,
you're taking summit laps with hard boots on.
Yeah. Not summit laps, Skyliner.
Oh, Skyliner.
With the ponytail.
Better for carving there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Groomed too. No one ever rode it. I mean, now it's like 5 million people. Like you go to Bachelor, it's like, who are these assholes?
All right, we breezed over a lot of the snowboarding stuff. I want to keep things going. Whitey has a few questions for you.
Yes, he's my favorite.
Here we
I
go.
owe everything to Whitey.
Here we go.
Hi, Dave. It's Whitey. Congrats on the bomb hole. Excited to listen to it when it's done. I was wondering if the phrase, I don't like it either, brings back any memories.
Thanks for the question, Whitey. I don't like it either. Do you guys know who Jeff Pettit is? So Jeff Pettit, epic skater. He was in Hocus Pocus. He's the first guy I ever saw do a ollie fast plant. Like, I was mesmerized by Pettit. Like, knew who he was. So when I finally met him, I'm like, you're fucking Jeff Pettit. You're cool. And had a bunch of different adventures with him. He's great. The I don't like it either reference that Whitey has is we went to Chile. It was Pettit, Rob Defoe, Whitey, and I. And then we had met Nate and Ronan there for a hot minute. And they were kind of like, it was like back when like people would jump in and out of film crews. It wasn't like so segregated where it's like, that's my guy. So those guys were in for a minute and then they were out. But we went down to Tomas de Chillon, and this is, you know, again, pre-cell phone days, whatever. We get to Tomas de Chillon, and Pettit is he's a maniac. God bless him. R.I.P. No one wanted to stay with Pettit. So he got to Santiago with no money. So every time we ate, he'd be like, hey, what do those taste like? And you're like, fucking, they taste like fries, dude. And we would take turns buying him his meals because he just couldn't handle it. And so when we got to Tomas de Chillon, Pettit was just on it at that point, drinking the whole time. And we're like, okay, why do you have to stay with Pettit? Like, so there was like a little chalet that we stayed in, and then Pettit and Whitey stayed in the hotel. So Pettit gets in a fight with his girlfriend, calls his girlfriend from the hotel on the phone, gets in a fight with her, passes out during the fight, leaves the long distance phone call going for the whole time. And you know, we don't know about it. He wakes up, hangs it up, so that we're there for multiple days. And the next day we're staying, we're like, okay, let's make a family meal. We buy the rice, and we're like, okay, Pettit, you make the rice. And he's like, okay. So he makes the rice, but he doesn't fucking rinse it or clean it or do anything. So he just made the rice. I eat it all. So when we're on the hill the next day, I'm like, oh God, just shit my pants on the hill, taking off my long johns, leaving in a bush, the whole thing. We go, and I'm pissed at Pettit. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I don't like it either. I'm like, the whole catchphrase is, I don't like it either. Like, anytime fucking Pettit fucked up, is like, I don't like it either. So then, like, now I'm like, oh, this sucks, but whatever. It's funny. Yeah, boot my pants. Haha. We go to check out, and Whitey's like, hey guys, this is fucked. You all need to help out. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, Pettit's got an $800 phone bill. And and this is like, we're all on cash, you know, like maybe we had debit cards. Like this, we're not sophisticated pro snowboarders. And so we all have to chip in. And the whole way from Tomas de Chillon back to Santiago, it's just Pettit. I don't like it either. Like, didn't say another. All he said was, I don't like it either, for like 10 hours or whatever that drive is.
Insane. So that Chile trip, was that filmed for Brown Trout?
Yes.
Amazing. I noticed in that video too, you were launching some 1-footers, and I feel like that wasn't a common move back then. You were kind of in the forefront of 1-footers.
Palmer had 1-footers down pretty good, so I thought they looked cool. And my time at Mount Hood is when I started doing 1-footers, because you would salt the half pipe. So you'd be in one board, 1 foot out, salting all the way down. And then at the bottom, we'd always have jumps built. So you get done with your salt bag, and then you do 1-footer tricks. So that's where all my 1-footer came from. But I'm impressed with where 1-footers went. Terrier's McTwist 1-footer on that quarter pipe's the gnarliest thing. Scott, we were just talking about his fucking tail grabs. He was doing some good 1-footers. Yeah, there's Craig McMorris has got good 1-footer. 1-footers are fucking cool.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You know,
Surprise take from
Yeah, hates tail grabs, but 1-footers do the trick.
Yeah.
You like the spin board?
No.
No. The spinners where you draw the line.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, old people talk. E-Tree, Chris Ingelsman, he rode the clickers back in the day, and he would do like judo airs and like somehow pull his foot out of that clicker in the air, which you couldn't pull it out on the ground. So I don't know how he did it, and like judo kick it and then land like clicker not in, but on the plate, which was pretty fucking dangerous. Like definitely blowing out an ACL or Achilles. But yeah, 1-footers are fucking cool.
I love it. We're going to change gears into a section of the show. Silk, do you have any idea what that might be?
I have a feeling it might be time for Name That Video Part.
I'll lose. This is not my forte.
Okay, Dave. What's your confidence level, 0 through 10?
-4.
-4. Okay. Well, let's see how you do, Dave. Here we go.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah, what is it?
That's Minutemen. That's me.
Yes, it is. Yes. Congratulations.
Yeah, who else has done double nickel on the dime?
No, I didn't think you'd get it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Mike Watt's the best.
Well, guess what? You won a little prize pack.
Please
we got
tell me.
There's bomb hole stuff in there, nose strips from Run Through a Wall, all kinds of goods.
You know, we haven't done any smelling salts yet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's
Maybe
get
a
it
good
going.
time to
Let's do it.
make sure they still work.
I thought we had to smell Bubs. Oh, that was your guys' thing.
Dave Sypniewski, this one's for you, brother. You got one, Silk? Okay.
Do we do this as a group? Is it like
no,
3,
just
2,
pop it.
1?
Just get after it. It's pace of play, you know? Ready golf.
Oh, so you don't like cheers it?
No, it's ready golf.
I'll cheers with you.
Oh, God. All right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good batch.
Yeah. All right. Good call.
Oh.
All right. Part 2 of Name That Video Part. This is for the listeners, not for you guys. If you guys know the song, comment on the photo of Dave Sypniewski on Instagram. And that's where we pick our winner. Dave his eyes are watering vigorously.
Apparently, you're not supposed to snort the whole stuff inside the tube.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, thank you guys.
Am I guessing?
For playing.
That sounds like some Mac Dog
Name
shit.
that video part. You're not guessing, Dave. God damn it, Dave. Simple instructions. That one's for the listeners, Dave. All right, we're going to talk about Arbor. I like what Arbor's got going on these days. They're doing big things. So Arbor has been making high-performance snowboards for nearly 30 years with a little thing called craftsmanship, and they do it with a conscience. These guys were on the sustainability tip long before it was cool, using real wood top sheets, eco-friendly materials, and giving a damn about the mountains and the planet. They're backed by one of the sickest teams out there. We're talking Jared Elston, a.k.a. Big Air Jer, Mary Francois, Red Gerard, who just won an X Games gold, Brian Iguchi, Danny Cass, and many others. Arbor Snowboarding is resetting the standard, blending high performance and sustainability with precision, power, and purpose. So whether you're straight lining like a psycho or going full dummy in the park, Arbor's got A-grade boards and bindings that you need to ride your best. So check out Arbor. They got a lot of cool stuff going on. All right, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite products, and that's the Yeti Ranchero backpack. Everybody knows Yeti makes the best stuff, but this backpack rules. Let me tell you why. I come to this office, we record podcasts. What do I need? I need my computer, I need my notebook, I need some pens, I need my charger. Sometimes after work, I want to go skateboarding, so I need my skate shoes. So I got a nice little compartment where I can keep my skate shoes separate from my work stuff with my laptop. Perfect for organization. It's also got a nice nylon shell, the tough skin, keeps everything dry if it's a rainy day. So there's no more digging through your backpack with this Yeti Ranchero. It's got a cutting-edge rip-zip opening that lets you quickly tear into the bag and see the stuff you need in seconds. And for even more convenience, it's got a vertical zipper that allows you to grab gear at the bottom of the backpack without having to unpack the top. That's major for me. So check out Yeti.com or a retail store near you and get yourself the Yeti Ranchero backpack. It's a heater. Brown Trout comes out, big production. You got first part. How we feeling walking through the world? We just kind of riding high, Dave? What's going on at that point in our lives?
No, like I said, I've never ridden high in snowboarding. I mean, I've ridden high snowboarding. That was hilarious. I see what you did there. No, I've again just fucking love it. Whatever I can do to go snowboarding. The The riding high moments are like, oh, we're going to get in a helicopter? No way. This is insane. We're going to go to Europe for fucking 3 weeks? This is insane. No way. Yeah.
We got a question, another one from Whitey. Let me see here. Let me find this thing. All right, where's this Whitey question? Here we go.
Hi, Dave. It's Whitey. Who were some of your favorite snowboarders in the early 90s? Known or unknown?
So this I found out this is a controversial pick later on because of personal life choices, but Tanis Gannon was one of my favorites. I don't know if you guys remember Tanis Gannon.
I do.
I liked him. Alistair
Amazing
Schultz,
style.
100% is one of my all-time favorites. I mean, would be layups to say the classic dudes. Like, oh, I like Jamie Lynn. Like, yeah, who doesn't? I think here's a dark horse. I wouldn't say this is because of video parts or anything, but just as like a snowboarder, contest person trying to get rad, Michelle Taggart was one of my favorites. But also, I had the pleasure of like riding with 100 different crews all the time. So it's like one of the things I enjoyed most about snowboarding is I would go visit people and make friends and like stay places. So like I could go to Colorado and ride with Twos and Radam and Ninja and those guys. So, you know, pick one of those guys, you know, Radam, Fat Bob, whole Northwest stuff, you know, Temple, duh, he's my guy. That's a hard question. There were so many people snowboarding then. I feel like, right? Does it feel like there was more people snowboarding then? Like sponsored wise? Or am I just old and I don't know anyone?
Probably old.
I think the
being
amount
old.
of coverage that was spread across the way now there's like crazy coverage on independently, but I think like it was more of like a communal coverage through all the different magazines and videos and contests and everything. It kind of gelled together maybe more.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think there's definitely probably more sponsored snowboarders now. Maybe not though. I don't know what I'm saying.
Someone should run the numbers on that.
Yeah, we'll get back to you.
But here's a good one. Scott Stamness, snowboarder, skateboarder extraordinaire. I traveled with him a bit. He was great.
I'm gonna just aggressively change gears, if that's okay with you, Dave.
I don't know how this is going, so
It's
you
going
do
great.
what you need to do.
It's going great. But I was just thinking about as we were talking, you know, you worked at Transworld, editor, big dog over there, part of kind of print media in its heyday, and then you've been in the industry the whole timeline till now. What do you think has changed for the better or worse, or how do we just feel about the media landscape now versus then?
Well, I was going off on this diatribe just a second ago about how when I was in media, when I was at Transworld, we thought we were like the third party credibility, but a lot of it was just filling pages. There was great things that we had the opportunity to do, good interviews and that. There was also dumb shit that we did. I mean, I fucking am embarrassed. Like, I won't even look at old Transworlds. I'm like, nope, don't know who did that. Like, at one point we needed pages and I did these pipe down things trying to be funny and they weren't funny. They were just being a dick. Well, they were funny, but they were.
So you were basically asking writers to pipe down, right?
I was.
They were great. They were great. What are you talking about?
I was managing my anxieties in a bad way where, you know, they were hilarious. I meant them, but they were also an asshole thing to do. At that time, we had Blunt and Big Brother, which being tight with Whitey, knowing Dave Carney and those guys, I'm like, you guys are hilarious. We should make fun of stuff. And so I was influenced by that. As I said, I had disdain for my employers. So I was like, yeah, I don't know. But at the same time, at Transworld, there was a lady, Sharon Harrison, that she might as well have been my college professor. Because when it came to how do you write, how do you structure sentences, things like that, she taught me. So it was great. The part of the media portion or that third-party credibility, it felt like Snowboarder and Transworld were trying to do that, but it came off serving advertisers more than it came off serving snowboarding. So it was like we definitely knew who was paying the bills, and it wasn't like we weren't really delivering on that mission statement. That said, as Seth was saying, there was plenty of love to go around. So we also didn't have to just go, oh, here's the 4 guys and we have to just focus on them, right? You could shine light on tons of people, and it felt like a lot of people were involved, and felt like a lot of people were equal, where it wasn't like on pedestals as much. And I don't know if the Olympics kind of changed that a bit, or because even in the video days, like the best part video stuff, it's like, you know, say when I worked there, Kevin Jones arguably was the best of my time working there. It was like still, yeah, but Tom Burt's just as good. It's just different. So there was no like, there's still the opportunity to go like, yeah, everyone's equal. We're just equal in different ways. What I saw sort of after my time there and just became a fan is, like I was saying, I'm like, did everyone find me as uninteresting as I find this stuff? And I think it might have just been having kids, different jobs, being panicking, just wanting to snowboard. But I felt like after the internet boom and crash, and as everyone started to develop these new like ways of communicating, it just was like rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So it's like, oh, what are you guys doing in your magazine now? Rinse and repeat. Oh, fuck, we don't have enough money. Let's do board testing. Oh, fuck, board companies don't have enough money. Let's do resort guides. You know, like everything from sort of my era and then 5-10 years past felt like, how are we bringing money in the door, and we'll do whatever it takes. Again, fucking love Annie Fast. Love people that were working at the magazines doing the stuff. Good work, great people where it was. But the overall, what's the role of media? You know, it should be third-party credibility, right? Or at least, hey, here's the full story about all this stuff. And again, my era wasn't like deep dives into issues. It was like, did you get a bunch of sequences? Great, we can do an interview. So I wouldn't say that there's better or worse over time, but the evolution to then go how you consume that content definitely changed a bunch. And, you know, that video part's always been strong, and videos are still arguably the most important thing. Just they're presented differently now, right? Like you can have a memorable Instagram clip that stands out like apart. But I think the magazine's all folding because there were these corporations and they weren't even people. You know, it's like, who owned Transworld? Who knows? It was bought and sold 20 times. To then see sort of Slush and Torment come up, it's like, yeah, great. You guys are doing great. So it's cool that someone's trying to fill a void, but it's also like, kind of feels like we're a little late on this. You know, maybe at Ika's house I've seen a actual print magazine, but I don't think I've ever seen one. Like, oh, maybe at a contest or something. So it's like really hard to go like, oh, this is a tangible thing that's of value now for me anyways, because I don't see it. Maybe other people see it more often. And I have this whole thing in my head of like, yeah, these guys need to be journalists. And, you know, in my studying to be prepared for today, I went back and watched a bunch of bomb holes. I like watching them more than listening to them. I don't know why. It's easier. But I watched the Ian Bowl one with you and Ian again. And it was interesting to hear Ian's perspective of like, yeah, but I'm just a dipshit. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, I guess you are. Like, thanks for doing something, you know? So I don't know if there's ever been like the golden age of snowboard media, right? It's always been gross because it's always been someone else taking money out for whatever they're doing, right? I do think there's opportunities for those people still involved with snowboarding go like, hey, this is the media we're going to get behind, and we're going to allow them to be our voice. You know, obviously Bombhole's got a responsibility now, whether you like it or not. You're a voice. Same with Torment and Slush to a degree. They're voices, right? And I think there's been times in recent history, things that have gone down just in America as a country, and then, the Terrier stuff and all that, where it's like, did these guys do it right? Did they handle a situation? And then rethinking about it, and especially yesterday after watching Ian's interview again, I'm like, whoa, fuck, why did I expect him to get it better? So I think
just to talk about the Terrier situation specifically, like in a perfect world, how do you think that should be handled?
Well, okay,
hypothetically,
let's just come out of the gates that Terrier was wrong, right? The tweet was wrong, the DMs were wrong, like unequivocally, just that was bad. I'm friends with Terrier. I'm tight with Terrier. I've talked to him about it. I don't find him to be a homophobic person, all that kind of stuff. And I think, when people kind of said their stuff on Instagram, how they felt about him, I agree with like JP and Pierre and those guys. Like, yeah, I think those of us who've been around him for decades are like, this isn't, he's just, his jokes aren't landing. But it's still wrong, and it still made people feel bad. And, I think there still needs to be a conversation with that. In my mind, and again, looking at it from outside going, what's going on with this shit? Because, half the people involved, I'm like, I don't even know who these people are. Like, what's going on? Who's getting canceled? What's it about? I think, and I spoke to Ian about this directly, I think when there's an issue like what was Terrier's issue, because again, it almost overshadows the good of what that Torment magazine was doing. It was a noble thing of like, hey, let's give people the opportunity to feel safe and say their piece.
You're talking about the gay pride issue, basically, where everybody came out and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean that to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that sort of rehashed that old wound of Terrier's tweet and whatnot. And I'm sure there was other things, but it's great that there was the opportunity to say like, hey, I think this guy's a dick. That's great. You should be able to say that. I think there was just an opportunity, and the window was short to follow up and go, hey man, Terrier, there's this shit going on, and it doesn't feel like you're communicating yourself. You're communicating in a way that makes sense to everyone. You did a press release or you did whatever. How can we help you have this conversation? Do you want to say anything? Do you want to explain yourself better? Because to me, it was just like a failure in communication. Again, the tweet was wrong, and DMing people and saying dumb shit is not good. So I'm not justifying his behavior, but I think there's an opportunity. If you want to be a media company, then if you want to be, I'm a media company, I'm a journalist, then the opportunities go like, okay, hey, let's go to the next part of the story. Not just stop it here. And the next part of the story is this who Terrier is? Because that's how we're doing it. Do you want to address this? You've bummed someone out. Do you want to not bum them out? Because you're bumming all of us out, because this isn't energy anyone wants. And it just feels like it falls flat. And I'm sure I've heard people have reached out to him and things like that. I just think there was like a lot of commotion. And also, snowboarding is a global sport, right? This is an international thing. There's like different countries, different time zones, people are in different places. The way we're communicating, like, it changes at times. So if I'm making myself clear, it's not defending anyone's actions at any time. It's, hey, let's go to the next step and see like what's up with this. Here's a beloved member of our community. He's our friend. Are you really this asshole, or are we getting something wrong? I think that's what was the missed opportunity. And it's not just with Terrier, right? I've embarrassed myself so many times. I mean, I was just talking about the pipe down. Like, I'm kind of embarrassed about that. There's plenty of dumb shit I've said to people over the years. hey, Curtis, you ever seen Grown Man Naked? Like, how many fucking times? Like, just so many. And, we all evolve, right? Like, I'm sure I've said the most misogynistic, grossest shit in my life. I'm positive that I have, and I'm embarrassed about it. And, the point of us being a community, or like this thing that we all hold so dear with snowboarding, is like we help each other. And right, if someone's a dick, you don't give up on them. You're like, hey, let's fucking help you not be a dick anymore. And then, people get weeded out. But generally, I just feel like if there's an opportunity for someone to be that voice and that defining voice of like, hey, this is how we all feel. And I don't know if that's there. I feel like there's a lot of left out stuff. And I feel like social media exacerbates that because there's so many silos and there's so much like, this is who I follow and this is what I think this is. And I don't know what's going on over here outside of this, and it happens to all of us, right? It's not intentional. It's not nefarious or by design. I follow fucking 3,000 people. What can I look at, right? So I think what Torment Slush Bombhole can do is really go like, hey, we've aggregated this in a way where you can kind of navigate it, or we can show you a bit more of this. And yeah, the Terry thing's unfortunate. I hope Terry, does whatever he needs to do. It's weird to me. It's the whole thing feels weird because I'm like, who's being the baby here? I can't tell, But like, I think listening to Ian, the way he spoke about it, and just to kind of wrap this up so I don't beat a dead horse, Ian was like, yeah, but the same thing that bugged me about Terrier's press release is he had a but in it. And he's like, oh, but when Ian was saying is like, yeah, but it wasn't really my fault. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't your fault, but you didn't really do anything. And again, I love Ian. He's great. Torment's great. There's never been good snowboard media, right? There's no 30 by 30s. There's no hard hitting fucking New Yorker articles. No. Malcolm Gladwell's not fucking jumping in here and doing the data on how many snowboarders there were at any specific time, right?
Not happening. Yeah.
But I think there is an opportunity to those participating and who love snowboarding to go like, hey, yeah, let's kind of come together and go like, this is the guiding light. These are the principles. These are core values. Because you don't really know, right? Like, what are the goalposts? Mm-hmm. Where do we stand on things? Do we stand on anything? I don't know. Is the professional snowboard league what we're into? I'm not sure. Are the Olympics still cool? I'm not sure. Like, so there's these things that can help, not define, but help navigate, right? You can give a little roadmap a bit more.
100%. Quick sidebar, just, everybody's like always says, hey, we should have Turier on the show. We should have Turier on the show. People listen, I've DM'd him plenty of times. Open door if you ever wanted to come on, just to get that. But I want to move forward because what came to mind is at Thrasher, when you compare skate, you worked at Thrasher for many years, and do you feel like they had a little bit more of like, this is, they seem like they're kind of unanimously the voice of skateboarding?
Well, it wasn't. I mean, Thrasher's always been the voice of skateboarding, but there's been noise in skateboarding as well, right? And there's been people who've built up entities, tried to distract from different, or not distract, but get their piece, right? So, Transworld's a direct result of Thrasher. So, if you guys know all that stuff. Basically, Thrasher had started, it was independent trucks, Fausto and Swenson saw a decline in skateboarding, started the mag to help promote skateboarding. Larry Balma owned Tracker. All the SoCal guys were like, we don't get any coverage in Thrasher. So they started Transworld. And then Transworld's like, we're going to be the nice, clean guys and not swear. And they're going to be the dirtbag. And so that went over time. Transworld turned into this fucking whatever, Tribune Corporation entity. And when they had their falling out, there was the skateboard mag was fucking great. Grant Britton, Akko Atiba, even Mahaley doing the ad sales. That was great. It was great for skateboarding. It was great to see. I think what Thrasher has always done is they just stayed focused on here's what hot skateboard action is. Like the other stuff's cool, but the raddest, gnarliest dudes, these are who they are and this is what they're doing. And when it comes to addressing things that they don't really, not on their radar, it was like, well, we just don't talk about it. So like Olympics and skateboarding, Thrasher, how do you feel? We don't talk about it. It's just not on our radar. It's not what we think it is. So I wouldn't say that, I would say like how you view your sport, there's things that can influence that. I love Thrasher. I look at Thrasher every day still because, again, there's so many kids that rip at skateboarding. Like, who is this Simon guy? He's been around for 5 years. Like, fuck, he's so good. I think it's a clearinghouse for me at this point of like, you want to know what's fucking totally bitching in skateboarding? There it is. You can go get it. Snowboarding right now, I don't know where to go get my totally bitching snowboarding. You know, I'm on Instagram looking shit up.
What was your, well said. What was your role at Thrasher?
I was marketing director there. So just to finish Seth's question, the LinkedIn page is Snowboarding, Transworld, Burton for like 18, 20 month window, Boost Mobile, Onboard, which was a digital magazine. I did that for a year. And just before we get too far away, talking about Onboard, you know, great magazine out of Europe, fucking lovely humans. They've always done great and right by snowboarding. They were feeling the crunch of like, oh, print's going to die. Newsstands Hills are dying. What are we going to do? And I worked for them. They were doing a flippable PDF that had like embedded links and all that stuff. And it was like pretty cool, but like trying to sell an advertiser a PDF page online just wasn't working out. But
too soon.
I don't even know if it would work now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Unless it's embedded in like Netflix, I don't think it's going to work. It's just, media is so rich now. Like there's such, I mean, your fucking phone's selling you whatever you looked at on the NBA finals and it's not even connected. You're like, what the fuck is this?
It's true.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting a Trump phone. It's gonna help me sort through all this stuff. But yeah, so the onboard was great, and again, I illustrated of like it was cool to work for a magazine out of London that it was a lot more Euro facing, but we had US content in there. That was fun. And then after onboard, I went to Thrasher. Oh, I also forgot short stint at Amp Mobile, which was the post-Boost Mobile thing.
All right, let me tell you what I'm excited about, people. These Bubs Naturals Hydrate or Die hydration packs. We are hammering these things at the office all day long. I'm drinking these on the daily, staying hydrated, whether I'm just at work or I'm out getting after it on my snowboard. And one thing people should know is that 75% of Americans are dehydrated. You're talking about losing strength, focus, endurance. You can have some brain fog. So let's hear the science. Your body needs electrolytes. We're talking sodium, potassium, magnesium to actually pull water into your cells. That's where Bubs Hydrate or Die comes in. It's based on oral rehydration solution science, a blend of sodium and glucose that pushes hydration directly into your bloodstream fast. We're talking 2 to 3 times faster than water alone. That's not hype, that's actual data. So whether you're flying, you're climbing, you're drinking, you're working, or you're just up at altitude, you're losing more than you think when it comes to water. Hydrate or Die brings it back. We're talking 2,000 milligrams of electrolytes per pack, cane sugar only, no sketchy sweeteners, and it's NSF certified for sport. It's clean, tested, and made in the USA. And let me tell you something, this new formulation tastes really, really good. So hydration's not optional. It's the cheat code to keep going. Hydrate smart, hydrate clean, hydrate or die. Head on over to bubsnaturals.com, grab a box. Your muscles, your brain, and your send will thank you. It's Bombhole approved. Let's do this.
All right, we're going to take a quick intermission here to talk to you about our good friends over at Pub Beer, who just happen to be the official beer of questionable decision-making and cheap fun. That's right. You heard it here first. Whether you're just having a couple, maybe you're watching the game, Pub Beer's a great option. Cheap fun. Maybe you need 50. Did you just get dumped? Pub Beer's got you covered. Cheap fun every time. Pub Beer.
Sorry, folks, interrupting the episode very briefly to talk about Nidecker Need to Know. Okay, we asked a question. You can win amazing gear like this, the Sensor Pro. This is the board that everybody rides in the park. I love this thing. I ride in the streets. I ride this exact one in the backcountry. This is a 162. So you could win a Sensor Pro or a Nidecker snowboard. All you have to do is answer this question on the Bombhole's Instagram, the picture of the guest speaking here today. The question: who do you consider a pioneer of modern snowboarding? Answer that question, explain your answer. We'll pick our favorite and send you some gear. This is Nidecker Need to Know. I think we need to get back to the episode.
Fire up that's the snowboard question.
Oh, yeah. So I feel like this whole time, like if you've been talking about snowboard career, like a lot about it, use it like as it being a tool to travel and, you know, be with people, community, all that. But I want to hear like your peak moments or like something you remember, biggest trick, whatever.
I'll break it down into sort of a couple different sections. One, peak moments are kind of your home mountain moments are your peak moments, right? So there and out, whether was with people or not with people, there was some time at Mount Bachelor where I'm like, wow, I actually know how to snowboard pretty good. Like I'm feeling it, you know, doing good tricks in the park, you know, like front cab 7, shit like that. We're like, whoa, I can freestyle. Like, this is pretty cool. Or my favorite thing with snowboarding is really just finding those natural jumps, which obviously Bachelor's famous for. And just like the days riding, you're with 1 or 2 people, it's snowing, and you're just fucking full send off of whatever you can find.
How much of like your career you think is just like not filmed or documented or like shit you did where you're like, that felt good, but like
for sure,
no one got it. Like
I would say a good 7/8 of my time as a sponsored snowboarder was not filmed.
That's like what it was like because people were like, oh, that dude rips. Like you should see him. Like,
yeah, and there was also, you know, limited spots. And for filming, there was limited spots, sponsors paid. You know, film crews took risks on dudes because, you know, burning film wasn't cheap. It wasn't digital. It was fucking film. Like it cost them money. And if you weren't on it, you were costing money. And if you're taking a spot, you're taking a spot from someone really good. So the pressure of the filming was legit. I had a trip to Japan once. We did a contest. I think I got like 7th. So that was, anytime I top 10 something, I'm like, yeah, fucking top 10, doing good. But on that trip, Murray Stiple and Dan O'Pendergrass had a film company, and I went and filmed with them. And we went to, why am I blanking on the?
Akuba? Or?
No, it was
in Whistler. You talking about
in Japan? Oh. Now my brain's fried. It's my favorite spot, Tinjindara. So we went to Tinjindara, and it was like this. You know, they had the tram, and then you hiked everything, and it was Murray and Dano sorry, not Dano. Fuck, sorry Dano. I meant Gary. Gary Pendergrass. So Gary, Murray, and I were there, and it felt like it was just us at this resort. And it was like the best snow. It was Japan before Japan, right? So, you know, bush jumping and all that kind of shit. And it was most memorable for me because we met up with these surfer dudes. Well, so I get in the tram, and I think I was actually just riding by myself at that point. I think those guys it was like snowing, so they were gone. And I'm in the tram, and I'm going up, and I'm looking at these guys, and how do you say it? Chimsy or Chemise or whatever, you know what I'm talking about, the French brand. It's like a outerwear brand. anyways, I looked at the guys. I'm like, oh, you guys are all fucking windsurfers, huh? And they're like, yeah, how'd you know? And so we're up the tram, and I'm doing my usual shtick of like insult you until you like me. And I'm like talking shit to these guys. And this is like early 90s. And the one dude, as I'm making fun of the windsurfers, and I'm feeling like I was allowed to do it because I knew how to windsurf. So like, yeah, we're cool. And I said something about like, yeah, but you know who's crazy are those guys who do toe winds. And ends up the dude, one of the dudes I'm making fun of was just on the cover of Surfer as a toe wind. I was like, oh my God, such an idiot. Why'd I talk to him this way? And then they ended up taking me on this little monkey run, which went like down to the road. So it was just like side country Japan. No one was there. I'd never heard of it. I don't think anyone really heard of it at that time. This was long before like I knew people going there. And that, I think for me, my moments in snowboarding were my peaks were like, I'm doing great snowboarding, whether it's being filmed or not. It's just like I had great fun doing it. So home mountain shit, filming shit, but not really filming shit, like the time in between filming when you're actually having fun. Like I went to Sheen's Campos's house once in Nelson. Again, this is the fucking 90s, and hiking whitewater. We weren't filming, we were just hiking whitewater. I'm like, this is the fucking greatest day of my life. Like doing the road shots, I'd never done it. I'm like, this is great. Things like that really stand out. And then, you know, the other things that I really liked about snowboarding was the gear. So even though I tortured Mike and P a lot about boards, it was fun to talk about boards and talk to Poss and the guys at Mervyn. Career highlight would also be Kurt Wastel, Temple, and I did a boot for Vans called the Fargo, which still to this day is my favorite boot I've ever worn. It was wide enough for my feet. But I really think I won gold. I won the Olympics a couple of years ago. Our buddy Brian Henderson did a trip up to Alaska, and it was like my best friends and heroes. So Ika and Curtis, Billy, Brian, Hetzel, and Jamie Lynn. And on that trip, I ended up taking the radio, you know, so I'd be the last one down. And it was probably like day 4 of just perfect conditions and just the best trip ever. And I'm standing up there, everyone goes down, and I'm like, oh shit, this is all I ever wanted right here, right now. And like, you know, they're already going down, and I'm behind them like, oh fuck, this is the greatest my life has ever been or is gonna get, at least on a snowboard. And that's kind of, for me, for the rest of my life will now be, how do I get back to that heli snowboarding with dudes like that? Mm-hmm. But I also would say snowboarding's been such an incredible thing for me because I've made so many different random friends through it, right? Not just the pro snowboarders, but like NFL players and random dudes that live in Texas, and just the amount of people that I've become close to through snowboarding, whether they're part of the industry or not. Like, it's just this great connector, you know? Like, I've been on trips with people where I'm like, you know, you're a titan of fashion. And I'm like, but you're also just a skate rat from Rockford, Illinois who wants to go snowboarding. Like, I think when you're snowboarding with people, it like all levels out and it's all equal, you know? So those are the peaks for me. Again, I didn't have that mindset of I'm going to win everything. Mm-hmm. So I wish I had that killer, who's the greatest snowboarder of all times? Well, Terrier, but also me.
I was there.
Yeah, it seems like you just worked at brands and had jobs where you could just continue to snowboard as much as possible.
That's always been the goal. And if the job wasn't specifically about snowboarding, snowboarding's a strong enough of a thing that you can always weave it back in. Mm-hmm. You know, the time at Fat Tire, you could argue like, what does beer have to do with snowboarding? You know, other than those celebration occasional moments. It's like, well, it's like like-minded people getting together doing a rad thing. So why wouldn't we be doing this?
Mm-hmm. And you breezed over when you were over at Mervyn, you're at Vans, you've always been kind of a product, you know, into tech, into designs. What's your take on what we need currently with let's just talk, like boards.
for full disclosure, I've not always been right. Like I remember I was riding with Tom Burt and he had just gotten a new winter stick and he was telling me about his winter stick and I'm just like, that thing looks horrible. And he's like, yeah, it's this and it's a taper and it's got, minimal side cut. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. And, fast forward to today, I'm like, I like a little taper on my board. And at the time I'm like arguing with Tom about how dumb taper was. And then I find out I was wrong. But there was an exciting time in those 90s there where everyone was figuring shit out so quick. But then there was also like marketing ploys where it's like, is this really the best shit? Like, I'm still like, I think I really liked baseless bindings. I really thought they were cool and I was really into them. Now, like, were they good? Because those Burton ones Barry Dugan kept giving me are fucking amazing. I still use them till today. So it's like the gear stuff's crazy. I think there's also this like approach or style of snowboarding changes. So the equipment kind of changes it, or the equipment changes the style of riding, right? Like I've had to change how I snowboard to a degree because I mostly ride Temple's board. And so I got to surf it back foot more, which is not how I snowboarded for 30 years. But now I'm slowly going like, oh, fuck, here I am on the back foot again. Like, and that's how you got to ride the board. Or at least that's the way it feels. So it's like this push-pull of like, is this the right thing or is it not? To this day, sorry, Mike Olsen, fucking reverse camber is stupid. But Mike tells me I'm wrong and he's really smart. So I don't know. But like, I think there's this market segmentation that gets overlooked by just about everyone except Jones, which is like Rad Dad. Rad Dad can buy whatever he wants. He's going to buy whatever he wants. And if you have the equipment for Rad Dad, he's going to get it and then he's going to be loyal to it. And I don't know if there's a lot of Rad Dad equipment out there. And I think there's like board design philosophy that's like, well, nope, we're going to do this fucking contact doesn't start till 4 inches later. And you're like, these things don't fucking turn. They work great in powder. Look at Travis Rice. It's like, yeah, he's the best. And he's in powder. Of course he can make anything work. He's good. He can probably make a tail grab look good for all I know. He can't. But no, I think there's like, I'm still friends with a lot of people in product design and I still have these conversations and debates of like, this is right, this is wrong. But I think Billy made a board. He did his Will board company for a hot second. And I think when it comes to turning on snow, that's my favorite board. Like it really turns good. I think when I think about boards of what do you need, and again, I'm saying I could be wrong because I watched those half pipers and they're on fucking edge going 100 miles an hour up ice. So something works, right? They'd be sliding out all over if it didn't. So for me, the way I like to ride, a board like Billy's or a board like Temple's where it's at. Even I wish Temple was full camber and some other things, some tweaks, but they're good. I think when you get into like this idea of like, oh, this is the ultimate street board, it's like, just sliding on metal. He's like, make the board turn right and then you can dull the edges and do whatever you want with it, is my sort of philosophy. Blake rides for a company that has weird wings under their binders. How do you feel about that design?
It's great. I love it.
See?
What are the wings? What are you talking about?
Like you know how Mervin does the serrated edge shit?
Mm-hmm.
Arbor's got a little bump by the binding.
Blake doesn't ride for
Arbor.
Oh, fuck.
You gotta get your shit.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Dave, you gotta get your shit together, dude.
Sorry.
That's the wrong brand.
I'm still thinking about Eddie. Okay, do you want me to tell you what's wrong with Ride?
Yeah.
The fucking dead nose. Like, why does the camber start 6 inches back?
Well, it's just like you want camber because that's what you want.
No, I want edge contact.
Closer to the front of the nose.
Yeah, so when I initiate a turn, it doesn't chatter out.
Not everybody's just looking to carve.
Okay, what does not having a board that carve do for you? Because a board that carves works
because like if your side cut is too aggressive, you zing fucking hard left if you're edging up a jump. It's hooky.
Okay.
It's hooky.
So now you're saying I can't jump.
Yeah, I'm saying you can't jump either. Yeah, with a board, certain boards that are the aggressive side cut, it's a little twitchy.
I think every board works for your style of how you want to ride.
Or if you're,
And you got to just find that.
yeah, if you're competent, you can make any board work, right?
Mm-hmm. Or if you're, if you really want a certain thing out of a board and you're only looking for that, it has to have that.
If you're not competent, you can always blame the board.
Yeah, or the graphic.
Yeah, that's true.
Graphics really fuck things up.
It's true.
What's your favorite graphic?
My favorite graphic?
Yeah.
You know what I came up the other day that I forgot about that I love? It's the Travis Parker when he ripped off the Muska graphic where he's on a toilet, the Parka, and it was like the Chad Muska. You don't remember
K2
that?
board?
Yeah, I just forgot about it, and I saw it the other day, and I was like, that thing was iconic.
Yeah, that was sick.
Is it probably how do you not remember that graphic? It's like we rode in Robot Food, and
there's holes in my board quiver knowledge as well. There was a couple years there where I was like working a square job and just riding whatever Temple had.
Well, we haven't talked about you working for Burton. How did that come to be? What'd you do over there?
So I was a team manager of sorts. I think on LinkedIn it says global team and brand manager. I fluff up that LinkedIn pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta link the LinkedIn in the show.
Yeah, we got to screenshot that LinkedIn.
Yeah. It's pretty radical. I was working at Transworld. Like I was saying, that ceiling's pretty low at Transworld, and Burton, Eric Koch, and those guys hit me up. And they're like, "Hey, do you want to come work for Burton?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I've been told my whole life that you're the evil people." And they're like, "We'll double your salary." I'm like, "Sounds like I should try this out." How about a signing bonus? Okay, we'll give you a signing bonus. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Yeah, I think Burton was in the era of the 380-page magazines. They were kind of all over the board with what they were doing, and I think they felt like I had a perspective, being a Transworld editor, that I could help them kind of sort through what they had. It was a really interesting place to work, because I went going, oh, snowboarding's like rad, family owned, like everyone, we're just a family. And then I got there, I'm like, holy shit, this is what a corporation looks like. And this is how corporations work and act. And I was isolated, where people there looked out for me and kind of like, oh, we'll make it so you don't have to deal with all this shit. And it was still like overwhelming of like, fuck, this is a business. It was also memorable because, I had to fire a bunch of people, and that is there's never a nice way. Like, I always just try to be direct, and like the first phase was like, okay, you guys just knew this was going to happen, bye. And then the next phase was, hey, you got to step up and do this. I'm going to try and help you my best. Let's lay out a plan. Let's have you get some shit done. If you can achieve it, like, that's going to be great. If you can't, that's not going to be great. And there was instances where people close to me, I had to be like, you didn't do it. You're gone. Sorry. And, it definitely can fracture friendships when you do that stuff, no matter how clear and direct you are. But then on the flip side, I helped out with the women's side of it. And, with like Shannon Dunn, she was doing all these contests and all this shit. And I was like, hey, do you ever go snowboarding? And she's like, well, I got this and this and that. I'm like, you should just go snowboarding. And then she went snowboarding for a few months. Then she won all the contests that year. And it's like, it's great when you can be like, hey, let me help you out a little, and you can do it and achieve it. So it was mostly team management. But then, being me, I stuck my nose in a lot of places, which probably didn't help out. There's a hierarchy at a lot of companies, right? And depending where you sit in that hierarchy, I was immature and thought my voice was equal to everyone's, and it's actually not when you work in companies. So that was a great learning experience. But yeah, it was great. I fucking got to travel the world, got to go all over with Burton on the Burton dime.
Who were the riders that you were, like, who was around besides Shannon?
It was, Terry, obviously, Trevor and Cure were there. I remember when I first got the job, like I'd already kind of rubbed Trevor and Cure the wrong way, like at Transworld. And they're like, as soon as I got the job, they're like, oh, we're fucked. Fuck this guy. And so it was like a first year of like us being suspect of each other, but I just wanted the best for him. So after a while, it was like they figured out that I wanted to help them and I was there for them. And that sort of, he's not my guy went away, and it was great. But there was definitely a lot of late night drinking that went down to make that one happen. Yep, Mikey Renz was there. I mean, he was a pleasure. I spent a lot of time with Sean at that time because I lived in Encinitas. And so Sean was in Encinitas. I liked to skate, went skating with him, spent time with his family. It was really, I mean, this shit, again, kind of like we were talking about the media stuff, like there was no oversight and there was no mentorship of like, hey, this is how you do these things the right way. So it was like, I'm going to figure it out and do it how I think it's the right way. So I've never asked Sean like, hey, did I do a good job when I was with you? Like, did I fuck you up or was it cool?
Hey, we actually have a question about Sean from one of our Patreon members, Jordan Mead. There's other questions from Jordan that I think we'll get to later, but best Shaun White story from your time being his handler.
Well, handler was a weird title. I was never his handler, but it seems weird. Look, I enjoyed my time with Sean. I think Sean was 14 at the time, and skating, like I enjoyed skating with Sean so much. We would go to the YMCA park and just skate there, and it was like, fucking, this is my job. Like I'm getting paid to skate with someone right now. Like, I'm fucking into it. The best Sean stuff is really his dad. Like the Raj is the charismatic person in the family. Like any fond memory of Shaun White is like the Raj making me laugh. But no, I think, and you'd have to ask him and double check me, but I think I was the first one Kathy ever let him go on a trip with where it wasn't with the family. So there's definitely some like high stakes responsibilities of like, that's someone's fucking kid. Like it's a real thing. I have kids now. Like, I don't know if I'd just let my kid go with some Yahoo, so that there's a level of trust and respect that has to go into that. So any good Sean stories I have, I'm probably not going to tell them on account of the fact that like respect to Kathy and Roger for entrusting Sean to me or entrusting me to look after Sean's interests. I think I kind of poked fun at Sean there for a second, but it can't be fucking easy to be in some of these situations, when I know how stressed out I am all the time, like being the bread earner in my family or just like the responsibilities. Like take Sean's family out of the equation, like remove that and whatever sort of idea you may have. There's fucking people's livelihoods associated with that guy, and he has to carry all of them. So that's a huge responsibility. And, I kind of lost touch with him a little bit after my Burton days. Burton was really weird when we ended our relationship. They had a non-compete that said, don't talk to Sean. Like, I'm like, okay, whatever. You guys are weird. So I tried to honor that. And also I didn't want to like confuse Sean or make things stressful for him. So it's like, I'm an adult. That's a 15-year-old kid. Why would I go put my shit on him? Like, Burton sucked. Like, why would you do that to any kid? But, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sean's rad. I think there's, for any kid out there, peer groups are the most important. Like, riding with friends is the most important. And when Sean was young, my time with him, I was just trying to instill that, like, go ride with your friends. If you want to get better at anything, go find like-minded people and hang out with them. So, and I know there's been seas of dramas and all that sort of stuff post my time with him, but I like the guy.
I got a question that I'd love to hear your take on. When you look at conventional sports, right, generally, you go to high school and not until recently you go to college. You're not really making money until you get into the pros. You have to go the collegiate route to make it as a pro. So then, you're not really getting paid until you're, late teens, early 20s as a pro athlete. But in snowboarding, take somebody like Sean, he's signing like huge deals when he's 13. Do you have any particular opinions on that?
Yes and no. I think it's naive to think that other sports don't spend that money.
Yeah.
And I think it's always been that way. And I think there's, I don't want to say it's gross, but people want to make money, and people make money off of other people. And I'm not calling it exploitation, but, Burton wanted to sell kids shit. Who better than Sean? And when you start doing that, then someone has to, Kathy and Roger aren't sports agents, so they had to find someone to go, hey, this is how you do it. Those people are going to tell them what they think. Like, it's just an ecosystem that has these things. It's the same with music, right? I'm sure you could go, hey, why is Justin Bieber so fucked on Instagram right now? It's like, have you seen his childhood? Like, fuck, dude. Like, that guy was a superstar when he was 12, that people were whoring him out for money for whatever reason. And I think it's just a lot to put on young people, right? I think, again, knowing Sean's family, I'm glad his family was there to be around him, his brother and all that. But it's the same with like anyone, right? There's sad stories in snowboarding of the kids that didn't have the oversight that like had it all, There's kids with good parents that had it all that fucking lost it. There's kids that had the most amazing Grenade was the greatest thing that ever happened to snowboarding. Hands down. Rider owned, did their own media content shit, looked out for each other. That was the greatest shit ever. What happened to it? You know what I mean? Like, was Danny too successful? Was it too much? Did Matt do something? I'm not intimate with that, but it's the same kind of thing, right? Like, money's a corrupter. Capitalism is a corrupter. But it's also a necessary evil, right? Heli don't pay for itself. So, I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it's just great stream of consciousness. It's so funny. I always think about this. We went on this golf trip. You're, getting tuned up, smacking a golf ball around. And then, on the way home, you just start giving Sexton public snowboards advice. And I was like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. I was like, holy shit. Totally random, but you're in the pocket there.
Thanks for the compliment. It's the neurodivergency, right? I gotta self-medicate it. Keep it under control. But again, I think we're all fucking connected. We all get together because there are these unspoken bonds we have with each other. There is these, and they're not the same for everyone, right? My trauma bonds may not line up with your perfect childhood, but we have something, and that everyone finds each other and you navigate and you create this little community out of it. And then within that, like I was saying before on other topics, it's like, it's up to us to make it good, right? It's up to us, like this idea, sorry to jump all over the place. The idea of like, when I was a kid at the skate park, they fucking hazed me and threw me in the trash can. It's like, maybe I did. At a certain point, I'm like, fuck, why do I want to be a dick? I'm out here to have fun. Why do I want to bum everyone else out? It's like, why do you go surfing if you're going to yell at other people? You're supposed to be having fun. It's the same with snowboarding. Like, I want to, at this point, whatever makes someone happy, I'm fucking down for. If you want to go street boarding and do a rail and grab your tail, fucking have at it. I'm not bummed on you. Go do it. I don't want to look at it and put it on Instagram, but the idea of like, we've got this thing that's magical and people want to come be a part of it, like that's important, right? And I think there's without snowboarding, and this, I don't want to sound cheesy. It's not like, oh my God, snowboarding saved my life, but fuck yeah, it helped me with everything. Like none of those jobs come around because I didn't snowboard, right? None of them. Maybe Thrasher came around without snowboarding. In fact, Jake told me, despite the snowboarding, I could have the job. But even, no, that's not true because, so here's a fun little sidebar story. I rode for Wave Rave, best clothing company ever. Shout out Philip. Philip was Korean American, and he manufactured in Korea, and he would go back and forth. And before K-pop, Philip was friends with the #1 Korean band. I don't know how they became friends. I think through snowboarding. CO Teji Boys. So CO Teji Boys came to Colorado, to shoot a snowboard video. So Josh Vert and I were their stump doubles. I was Hun Suk, the drummer. And at the shoot, Todd Richards had a snowboard magazine. Do you know about Todd's snowboard magazine? Drift. So Michael Burnett, Todd Richards, and some Boulder guys had a snowboard magazine called Drift. So they came to this video shoot, and that's one of the ways I became friends with Burnett was through snowboarding. So kind of did end up Thrasher kind of through snowboarding. But that video was insane because after shooting the whole thing in the wig and the costumes, like the whole time, the band and the people with the band, they had like maybe 5 journalists with them. It was crazy, like video production. They never spoke to us. Like it was just like they went to their house, we did our thing, and Bill Thomas was with us. And after filming the thing at the wrap party, they're like, we're at Beaver Creek, and they just start trucking in hand carts of booze, like Cavassier and all this crazy shit and whiskey. And so I'm just getting hammered with these guys. And it's finally the band's hanging out with us. And there's this guy, Mr. Lee, and he's a journalist from Korea. And he's taking his Cavassier and he's lighting this paper and pulling it over. And he pours it in his mouth. Burn, like flames in the mouth, and then closes it and swallows it. And I'm fucking hammered. I want to do it. So I'm like trying to get the lighter to light it, and it won't light. So he lights it for me. I take it, and I'm like, oh. And I pour it on my eyebrows, all over my nose. It doesn't even hit my mouth because I was like, ah. So I put my hands on it. My hands are on fire. I'm like, fuck. So I get a wet towel. I put it up. And the bassist, Juno, thought I was so funny that he's like, you're going to come to Seoul. I'm like, okay. I'm like, fine. And this is like a week before Christmas. I'm like, sure, I'm fucking down. And he's like, okay. And next morning, Philip's like, hey, so you're going to leave tomorrow, and I'm sending Bill with you. I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought the guy was talking about, like, next year I'll come. Dude bought me a plane ticket, like, 2 days later, fly business class to Seoul, and I'm hanging out with the CO Teji boys. But these dudes were, like, bigger than Michael Jackson. It was insane. Like, I went with them to film, like, a TV special, and when we were leaving, as they're driving the minivan out, these little girls are like rocking the van. Like, I'm like, dude, it was the greatest thing ever.
And you're just there chilling.
Just chilling.
Just being Dave. We just need Dave out here being Dave.
Yeah.
Do you even like communicate with them?
A little bit. Like, Gino had a little bit of English, but it was like broken. It was like partying.
It was just like.
It was also, the other highlights of the trip, I got crazy alcohol poisoning. Like, I never had this level. Like, I couldn't suck on ice. Like, it was so bad. And we had to go somewhere. The group had to go somewhere. They're like, hey, we're going. You're coming with us. I'm like, all right, but I'm going to die. I can't. And, like, they sent one of the assistants, and he ran around the corner, came back, and he had, like, these potions in his hand. He's like, eat this. And so I eat it. I'm dying. And then the guy, like, pulls down both my arms and pricks my thumb with like a pin, and like this black tar comes out. It was insane. About an hour later, I'm drinking again. It was so crazy.
Wow.
Damn.
Insane sidebar.
Yeah.
That's great.
But yeah, so the Thrasher stuff, snowboarding was actually in Thrasher. Whenever Jake and I would get in a fight and he would call me a snow dog and yell at me, I'd remind him that Cersei had a full page in Thrasher, and that would kind of quiet it down a bit. And he'd be like, oh, that's Bryce's fault. Bryce Knights, I don't know if you guys know Bryce. But yeah, I mean, early snowboarding and skateboarding were like the same thing. So most of the money I got from Mervyn in my fucking peak years, I put into a vert ramp with Mike Sanders. This guy, I didn't put in, the ramp already existed. I put it in, helped out with the metal on it. But we had a vert ramp in the backyard, and you know, the bend days of skating, and then the younger summer time of like skating with Dirksen and those guys. Like it was a lot of fun. So skating and snowboarding, I don't look at them as different, but I do. Like we were talking about style on snowboarding earlier, right? Like there's surf style and there's skateboard style. I like snowboard style. Like that's my. I like watching people who snowboard.
Like you think people imitate the other two, and then there's people that
I don't think they imitate. I think they're heavily influenced. And by snowboard style, I mean the person that. And again, this is kind of natural selection vibes. Of like I'm looking at the full mountain. I'm seeing the shit. I'm going from point A to point B to hit that, to hit this.
Give me an example of someone that stands out when you think of that.
This is going to sound really weird because he was a pro skater, but Noah Selaznick had snowboard style. Like to me, when I watch Noah Selaznick just do a free run ride, I'm like, oh my God, that is so sick. Where did he see that? Temple also has pretty radical snowboard style where you're just like.
We got a question from Temple.
Oh God.
Hey Dave, hello Bombhole, it's Temple. Dave, I'm supposed to ask you about your hard boots and your ponytail that you would shred Mount Hood and the half pipe in, which were very cool. But what I really want to know is that you interviewed Willie Nelson on the bus. Let's hear it. What happened? What'd you bring him? Have a good time. Bye.
Oh, this is a bit of a long story. I'm glad this is a long form podcast. Thanks, Temple, for the question. I don't remember the hard boots in the pipe. If I did that, that was pretty funny, for sure. The Willie Nelson. So as I was talking about before, I figured out that I could go on these snowboard trips if I wrote stuff or if I did interviews. So I'm like, oh, this is a pretty cool scam. So, Heckle. Remember Heckle? You guys remember Heckle magazine, Northern California? Or Heckler, out of Sacramento. I wanted to meet Willie Nelson, so I'm like, oh, what if I fucking interview the guy? That would be pretty cool. I could meet him then. And I had Heckler hit up his PR, and they lined up me to get to interview him at Redmond after a show. So I was pretty jazzed up about it. And I had like a BMW motorcycle at the time, so put a couple bottles of booze in the saddlebags, and I got Willie Nelson this book, and I drive over there and I see the show, and I drink like a fucking fifth of tequila, just like, this is great. Go on the bus, and I'm a little nervous, and I'm like, oh, hey, Willie, thanks for taking the time. I'm like, here's a bottle of Knob Creek or whatever. He's like, yeah, I don't drink. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, oh, the boys will drink it. I'm like, well, here's a book. And it's this Cormac McCarthy book, and called All the Pretty Horses. And he takes it and he's looking at it. He's like, oh, this is pretty cool. Thanks. I just read the script for the movie. Puts it down. I'm like, oh, fuck. I got nothing. I got nothing on this guy. But it was really interesting. And then like I was so confused because I wasn't sure what I was interviewing him about. And then I figured out like maybe 5-10 minutes into it, we were talking about Farm Aid and like what he did around Farm Aid. And like, so the whole conversation ended up being around Farm Aid and what he did to help out farmers and all that kind of shit. But it was like, for a hot minute there, I was just like, what am I going to talk to this guy about? Like, hey, you've done everything in your life and you know everyone. What question can I come up with for you? But he was really gracious and really cool. The other cool thing is, any fans of Willie Nelson know that his drummer is Paul English. So he's got a real famous song, Me and Paul. And when I was done interviewing Willie, I'm like, hey, can I talk to Paul English? And they're like, yeah, sure. He's on his bus over there. Go over there. And I went and spent like 3-4 hours hanging out with Paul English. And his son was like an actor on PBS doing a show. And like, just the most chill guy. Like, it was just like talking to someone's dad. I'm like, this is the best. And I don't really remember all we talked about, but I'm just like, that was really cool. And then I got on my motorcycle. And with Paul, I had been drinking again because he drank. And get on my motorcycle, leave, and I'm doing wheelies through the parking lot because I'm so jazzed up. Like, I interviewed Willie Nelson. I'm friends with Paul English. And when I get back on the road, cops pull me over. And they're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Doing wheelies, speeding on these roads. And I'd just gotten back on 97 when they pulled me over by the fairgrounds there. And I'm like, fuck. And he's like, give me your ID. And I open my backpack and like bottles are clanking. I'm like, fuck, why do I have empty bottles in here? And he goes and runs my ID. And I'm like, he's like, comes back. He's like, Dave, I'm really sorry. And I hadn't taken off my helmet because I'm like, I want to hide my breath from the helmet. He's like, I'm really sorry, but you have a dog at large ticket. I got to take you in. And I'm like, a dog at large ticket? He's like, yeah, because I had this dog in Bend that would go down Drake Park and eat ducks and shit. And so you get tickets for him. And so I had this dog at large ticket. And the guy's like, sorry, I have to take you in. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, yeah, but you're going to tow my motorcycle. He's like, I'm like, can you just let me push it in the ditch? And he's like, yeah, you can push it in the ditch. So I push it in the ditch. And he's like, you should leave that backpack there too. And I'm like, okay. So I leave the backpack. He takes me in. We go in and I call someone to make bail because they're like, you just got to post $150 bail for the ticket. And so as I'm sitting there waiting, I'm now feeling comfortable because I'm thinking we're all cool again. And these two cops come in and they had worked security at the show and they start talking shit on Willie Nelson. They're like, that show was so dumb. Like, we like whatever country music they like. And I just like, what? Fuck you guys, blah, blah. And so I start like lipping off. And the guy who pulled me over comes out. He's like, hey, Dave, you need to settle down. I'm like, he's like, you need that breathalyzer? I'm like, nope. Everything's cool. Everything's totally cool. And then, yeah, someone came and picked me up and went and got my motorcycle the next day.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Wow,
That's
Dave.
a night.
Incredible. We haven't hit that many Patreon questions. Why don't you hit that first one, Sil?
Yeah, this question's from James Crosby. Thanks to everyone who signs up for Patreon, asks a question. How do we secure the bag without selling our soul? From your experience in marketing, how do you walk the line where snowboarding can honor its anti-establishment roots while milking the deep, sweet corporate budgets of big brands? On both the industry and pro rider side, what does that look like, and who are some of the ones doing it right? Couple parts there.
What was his name?
That's a good question.
James Crosby.
Fucking grow up, James. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Yeah, there's I don't know if there's necessary evil of money, right? I don't know how pure snowboarding's anti-establishment soul may be. So I would say you can be true to who you are and you can associate with people who are in line with your values, and your guiding light needs to be your values. I think for me, the best company I ever worked for was New Belgium, which was Fat Tire, Voodoo Ranger, those. And the company-wide, they had shared values that aligned, and it wasn't just sort of the mission statement and you gloss over it and you don't think about it. Like, all the employees, everyone lived it and had it. So it wasn't just like it wasn't a motivational poster where it's like, our values are these. It's like people held each other accountable and helped each other out. And it was a great thing. And it was, made over a couple decades of leadership saying, this is who we're going to be. Kim Jordan, she was a social worker, and it was like really important to her for the company to have these values and everyone to line up to them. So I think the only way you can save your soul is to stay with people that are aligned with your values, and those values are different for everyone. What's important to someone may not be important to someone else. I think we're in the scariest time in my life right now, just with what's going on in the U.S., outside of snowboarding. So I don't think the salad days or the big corporate money is going to get any easier. These tariffs are going to fuck everyone up. We're looking at a recession and all that kind of shit. So the true path is just staying with your people and staying with the people that have your values. And an interesting way to think about it, and this is something that was said to me at New Belgium, is your values aren't your values until they cost you something. So that whole the whole idea that snowboarding's got this thing about it, the snowboarding community has this thing about it, is like, well, that's true if you're willing to sacrifice for it, if you're willing to give up for it, then those are true values. But if it's just like, you know, a marketing ploy, then yeah. I don't know if that was the...
What do you think about energy drinks in the space?
I think everybody in every sideways standing sport would be fucked without energy drinks. You know, do I think they're good for you? I don't know. I don't think so. Do I drink them? No. But, you know, I just ran into Grace, Luke, and Ben Ferg, and they're all like at the Red Bull facility in LA rehabbing their shit. It's like, that's pretty cool. Like, they look after their athletes. I think it's weird that, you know, they're like cultish or like, it's Red Bull or nothing, Monster or nothing, rocks, you know, and like you can't talk about each other. Like, it's weird, but it's great that someone's doing something for people. I don't know. I'd be tripping if I was a snowboarder right now. Like, your board sponsor gives you what, $15 a month? I don't know. They don't got money, or maybe they do. I might be misinformed, but it's a necessary evil. I think what worked well at Thrasher, what served Thrasher well, and what I always admired about it, and it was by design but not really communicated, is if you sort of go, these are our guys, and we'll stick by our guys. So like using ad rates as an example. The board companies, wheel companies, those are our guys. So they get this minimum rate. And then you just know that there's going to be these little black swans that come and go. And you don't know what they are, but they're going to come and they're going to go. And then you use them for what they are for that time period. So, you know, at one point it was video game money. And then it was cell phone money. And, you know, energy drink money, beer money, whatever that money is. I think that money's important because collectively a industry was built that's of value. People identify with it. They go, hey, I can associate what this is with my brand by giving you money. So collectively, everyone built that up. So you should reap the benefits of that if someone wants to use it. So I wouldn't say it's like, there's no inherently bad corporate people. Like, no one's stealing the soul, right? What's stealing the soul is the people from the inside willing to sell it out. And so the questionable things, the compromising things are when, you know, someone's just, oh, I'll take this money from this person over that money because it's just money, and who cares, it's about me. So you look at like what's wrong with outerwear, right? Outside of like maybe 686. Like you look at Billabong or Volcom or any of these companies, they were bought and sold. Like they were gone a long time ago. Like they made their money. Money's gone. So what are they? I don't know. Again, I love Volcom. They're great people. I like everyone that works there, but like this idea that they're more pure than the next guy, like why? So, but it's also like, who let Montech and Dope into the party? Like who left the door open? Like I would judge them harder than I would judge Monster that for good or bad has put so much money into all of this stuff. Like sure, you gotta wear a weird green claw and you know, the girl shit's kind of weird where they're all in fake leather or whatever, but they help people out, you know, they fucking take care of people, they pay bills. So I think I'm more suspect of the people on the inside that are willing to like go, whatever, I'll take your money, fuck you. Not the outside people.
God damn. Very eloquent answer, Dave.
Really? It sounded half brain dead when I was saying it.
No,
in my head.
I think that was like summed up high level, you know, snowboard ecosystem. You know, that's probably the best that's ever been summed up on our show, I think, actually. I would go that far.
Yeah, again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with snowboarding because snowboarding is just sledding, standing up with your feet attached to a board, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It is so much fun. It will be fun any day you go. Like, the other shit that people get hung up on that we talk about and have podcasts about, like, it's all noise, right? It's just
Yeah, that's facts.
That's so true. Yeah.
It's just like, how do I pay for my shit? You know, there was a brief time at Burton where I was talking to Jake, and I asked him, and I'll save you guys the answer because it wasn't that cool. But I asked him, like, how much do you really need to make a year? Like, what's the profit you need? Right? Like, how much? I rode for Mervin forever. I love Mike and Pete. I'll take a bullet for those dudes. Their company's been bought and sold like 10 times. Like, I don't even know who owns Mervin anymore. Are they still for sale? I don't know. I love those dudes. They're my guys forever. But the idea of like, they might be more pure than someone else, like, I don't know if that's true. I remember a tennis guy running it at one point. Like, I don't know. And, you know, it's the same thing with Burton, right? Like, Burton's an easy target. Like, ooh, they're a big company. It's like, whatever. Burton, at least during my time frame of snowboarding, Burton gave every single pro snowboarder bindings, unlimited. You need bindings, you got them from them. And it's like, they didn't say no. They didn't say go buy them yourself, asshole. It was like, they still participated. So, sure, everyone's trying to make a buck. It's called business, capitalism. But I think most companies have been around are pretty good.
You know what it would be cool to talk about is, you know, we haven't touched on the Boost Mobile era. And, you know, I didn't know you were the man behind the scenes. I was hanging out with Lucas Magoon when he was on Boost Mobile, and everybody they would wear their cell phone, which was a flip phone, around their neck. It was almost like rocking a chain. Dingo had one. Gooner had one. I think Danny, you know. And it was the cell phone money era was a great era, Dave. And you were the guy with the keys to Boost Mobile at the time, right?
Well, I was fortunate. Burton had let me go. I was having a baby. I was in a bit of a panic. Like, what the fuck? I got bills. And Cersei hit me up and she's like, hey, these Australians are over here and they're starting a mobile phone company and they want to sell it to surfers. Do you want to help them? Like, yeah, I need a job, so let's go talk to him. And I went and met him. The guy that hired me, Adrian Hunter, was just this amazing giant human of an Australian guy who just wanted to ride his dirt bike. That was his thing. And his thing was like, I don't really know. You seem all right. You tell me what we need to do. And then I'll tell you what we're going to do with what I like, which was the motocross stuff. I'm like, cool. The Hill brothers were early investors in Boost Mobile in Australia. So Hill brothers owned Dwindle and Globe. So the first people that were, I didn't have to explain to anyone what a team rider was because the Hill brothers were like, hey, welcome to America. You're going to pay our skaters an obscene amount of money. But their skaters were like Day One and Appleyard and all these fucking amazing people. And I was like, this is a layup. I don't have to explain to anyone. And that's where the level's been set. Like, okay, that's the low mark. So I was able to help navigate that. But one of the things that was like, first things first was like, hey, there's no surfers that are buying these prepaid phones. Like, that's not how America works. So it was like trying to help the Australians understand like who their product was actually for. And then going, okay, let's make an aspirational brand out of this, but still understand where we're selling it. So, which was like, you know, people with poor credit. You know, we had a huge beginning because the push to talk, you don't use towers on it. And so you could get a prepaid phone and go back and forth between Mexico with the push to talk, and it wasn't an international charge. So it was $1 a day to go back. So there was like some things that built the business based on market opportunity, not just brand, but the brand stuff was great. The thing that I feel I did best at Boost Mobile was I hired this guy, Damian Robertson, who was just a buddy from Encinitas, who had never had like a real job. I'm like, oh my God, you're a good person. People like you. You're our guy. And then we got Janae, who like was Dingo and Lucas's gal. So it wasn't really the opportunity with there was, again, like you build a bunch of people and everyone makes it successful. That's the trick, really, is no one's going to like everyone. It just doesn't happen. So you get everyone involved equally, and then people gravitate to different people, but you're all on the same team, so it works out. So like, you know, I barely interacted with Lucas or Dingo or Danny or any of those guys, but we were all in it together because they wanted to talk to Janae. So it's like, worked out.
We got a Patreon question in that regards.
Yeah.
Pull your mic closer.
This question's from Sean Lake.
Oh, God. This guy. Bubs.
Since retiring from being a pro, you've always found a way to funnel funds back into snowboarding from all the cell phone companies. My question to you is, while hosting the Boost Mobile Pro in Chicago, how did you pull off getting Kanye West to open up the show? Remember, it's tough being a man while fighting the man.
Yeah, that's a Thrasher quote. It's hard to fight the man being the man. My eventing days, like whenever you're doing an event, like you're thinking about everyone else's safety and their experience, but you're also like trying to like keep it under control, right? So you're like, hey, get as loose as you can, but not that loose. So and with Thrasher, it's like our whole thing is like, you break shit, right? And it's like, no, you break their shit. Yeah, I think the question kind of was what we were harping on a little bit more before. The idea isn't like I was funneling money back into snowboarding. What was happening was there's an opportunity to identify with a consumer base that's a younger consumer, which is within snowboarding, and then you can make a relevant connection between the brand and the consumer by leveraging these relationships. So the opportunities that I've had to have brands that aren't considered endemic participate is just like, hey, here's how we can leverage these relationships to help build our brands. So there's no bait and switch there. You know, the cell phone days, I'm like, fuck, we should have bought dune buggies. Like, there's so much money going around. It's like, I didn't walk away with much.
He asked about Kanye West.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of is what we did at Thrasher as well, right? It's all of the stuff. People gravitate towards snowboarding, skateboarding, all that, and you have the opportunity to talk to people who aren't necessarily already blown up, but have an interest in what you're doing. So Kanye early on, I'm a fan of rap music, right? Or hip hop, whatever you call it. So Freddie Gibbs would have been my first choice. Woo! Gary represent. But you know, Kanye was available. We got him to play. He opened. And it was just him coming up, right? I think we had Twista play at one of the parties too. It was pretty sick. But you know, at Thrasher, Thrasher always had music in the magazine since the beginning of its launch. And one of the things that I feel helped Thrasher kind of, especially with the merch, is bringing that music a little bit more to the forefront, or at least using a connector of like, hey, you may not know how to do a tray flip, but we both can agree we like this music. You have these values, we have these values, we kind of align with it. Let's all celebrate it. So like getting the ASAP crew and Odd Future and all those guys involved, you know, some of them skated, so you didn't have to bridge that gap at all. They knew. And then some of them were just like, oh, we fuck with you because you guys are, you know, like this. So they're easy opportunities. When we did deathmatch, we would have everyone take a photo with their check that we wrote them, just so they couldn't be like, you didn't pay me. And we paid Travis Scott $1,000 to play our party once.
Damn.
So like there's plenty of those stories to go around. But again, you know, you get people on the come up. I mean, at one point we didn't have room for JPEG Mafia. There was just no room. So we had to say no. And then like 2 years later, I'm like, he's number one? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's great. Music and this shit all goes together, right?
Yeah.
And again, I think the values of the music that everyone gravitates to aligns with the values that we all have. So it's an easy bridge.
Hey, Dave, should we hit a run through a wall?
Is this episode brought to you from Run Through a Wall?
It is. Here you go. Are you going to put the nose strip on, too?
I'm going to double dip it.
Wow.
Yeah, make sure you put the nose strip on before the salt increases.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Intensity.
Yeah, we started making
let me
nose
get
strips.
this.
Oh, yeah. Coming at you.
I keep forgetting to keep them over here.
So this is how sober guys party, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's
we
pretty
saw all
lame.
the guys wearing them on the line, the nose strips on motocross. And so we started making them. Turns out they're pretty good for other stuff. I was wearing them sleeping in the other day.
Yeah, my wife makes me wear them for sleeping.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I could probably get you a discount on a 10 of those, Dave.
My weight
I know a guy.
fluctuates a lot, and when I get chubby, I snore. So,
You putting a nose strip on?
yeah.
Nice. All right. I don't remember what we were just talking about.
Will it make my voice sound weird if I have a nose strip?
We were gonna hit this Patreon question. This is a question from Jen Shirowski. Shirowski.
She worked at Transworld.
Yeah, from one Polish former Transworld editor to another, snowboard journalists have some innate skills they probably don't even know they have. Couple examples here, yada, yada, yada. What's one thing you learned or honed at Transworld that you still use today? I'm sure that's improving brain function, too, over there.
Damn, double whammy.
Well, thanks for the question, Jen. Dziękuję. That's thank you in Polish, from one Polak to another. I like that you did quotations on journalists, because as we were talking about earlier, I never viewed myself as a trained journalist. I think what I learned at Transworld was two things: the horrible makeup of capitalism, and then how wonderful coworkers can be, and how you spend so much time with the people you work with that they really truly become your closest friends for life. So the time spent with Shem Roos and Nate Yant, like, those are the best days of your life, you know? In terms of skill, though, the biggest skill was really just trying to form complete thoughts. Like, as weird as that sounds, right? Like, again, may just be neurodivergent, but you're thinking about subjects or people, and you're trying to sum up everything all at once, and it's hard. You get overwhelmed, right? Because, hey, I'm going to interview this guy or this girl, and this is what's unique about them. But there's all these other things too. So you're trying to like really form a complete picture or thought in your mind of and then communicate like, oh, this is how I see it, or this is how I view them, and you might be able to view them as well. And that was a skill set that I don't think I had. I might not even have now, but definitely worked on it a lot at Transworld, of just working on viewing something and trying to understand it in its total sum. And that then sort of helped with later jobs, especially in marketing, because, within marketing, a brand's just the sum of its parts. And if you can't see all of it and you can't see how it works and supports, you're not very efficient.
Hey, Dave, can I ask you a hard-hitting question?
Harder than a through the wall? Sure.
Yeah. So you are a high school unfinisher.
No, I have a general education diploma.
Whatever. You didn't graduate with your class.
Oh, so not unlike Greg Florkowski, you're saying I did not walk the walk.
You didn't walk the walk, exactly.
Classic.
Yet you've had these high-level positions. So I'm just curious, two parts. One, what are your thoughts on the formal education system? And part two, what do you think the ingredients are that got you in these high-level positions, even though you have no formal education?
What was the first part of the question?
Do you think college is good or bad? Or
college is fucking great. If you're going to be an engineer or a doctor or in finance, or like there's skill sets that you must learn in college or trade schools teach those. So 100% back school. I think education now and having children, watching it even evolve the last 23 years with them, like helping people learn to learn has evolved a lot over time. And it's really, it's changed from kid to kid in my family. So I think there is, I wholeheartedly back education. I totally am in awe of people, especially later in life, who go back and continue their education formally. So yeah, I think it's worthwhile. I think you know, the people that just go to school without a plan, or people who go to college without a plan, are burning through money they don't need to.
Yep.
And I think you get caught into a marketing pitch there that might not be the most thought out. But yeah, fuck yeah. If you're gonna be an engineer, you probably should go to school. I would hope the bridge I'm going over has got those well-educated people building it. And then in terms of me, there's, you know, again, what's unique about me is the people that have been around me, and, you know, the jobs I had. The first job I had at Outpost Sports, you know, those guys went, no, you fucking show up to work 15 minutes early and you eat and you go to the bathroom before you get here. And that was from when I was 13, right? So I had people going, this is how you do certain things. And, you know, the time at every job, I was a fucking maniac. Like I made so many mistakes, and I was lucky there was enough generous people in my life to go like, hey, I want to look past this mistake and help you course correct some of this. Or I'm going to teach you the harsh lesson and you don't get this, be at this job anymore, and hope you learned it for the next one. So I think, you know, you're getting educated at a job the same as you're getting educated at school, right? I think when you get to more of that leadership level, the difference is you're supposed to have the answer, and you should have conviction in those answers. Any employer really, the two most important criteria for any coworker I would ever hire would be, can you problem solve? And can I hang out with you in the airport for 4 hours? If those are the first two most important things. Like, do you suck to be around? If you do, you should probably figure that one out first. And can you not think about problems in a creative way or opportunities in a creative way? Because otherwise we have AI now. We don't need you. So that's the way I look at it. But I don't view myself as being particularly special or insightful. Like, all the ideas I have are sort of learned ideas through time. And then it's just an application of like, that makes sense. You could do that here. You know, my probably most consistent brand philosophy is the idea of building community around a brand. And I feel that when you engage with people on that level and they become a part of the brand, they feel engaged with it and it's meaningful to them, they then, you know, represent it and sort of evangelize it as well. And that really has to do with being consistent, you know, doing rad shit, right? You don't need $1 million. You just need to be consistent and showing up. And you don't forget the people in the beginning at the end, right? Like, if you involve yourself with someone or something at one point, check back in. You should stay in touch, because if you did something with someone somewhere, they're important and they have value, and you need to stay in contact with them. I think that's the big trick.
God, for a degenerate, you're pretty wise, I will say. Your nose strip looks pretty stupid. I would maybe pull it out. It's upside down. It's also not on the right part of your nose. Yeah. I'm going to ask a completely... See, once you peel this, you got to be careful when you put it on to not touch the sticky part. That's the key. Any rate.
Well, there's no fucking instructions.
There isn't. That's our first run of them. We're learning as we go.
So,
ready, fire, aim. I have a totally unrelated question to what we were just talking about. I like to keep the terrible journalism going. What snowboarders do you find interesting?
That's a great question. I love that question. So my favorite, that's a crazy question. I figured out who I was thinking about when I said Arbor.
Big Air Jared?
No.
Who?
Red Gerard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You thought Blake was Red Gerard? That's...
Easily get them.
Yeah, I can see that. You know,
yeah,
we've all been there.
No,
we've all been there.
I like what Red puts out there. I like his style. I like his approach. I think whatever he's writing, it looks pretty cool, pretty fun. You know, I don't want to sound cliche, but I think what Travis has done with natural selection and the way he's presented a lot of the guys in that, a lot of guys and girls in natural selection, I really like the way they present themselves, and I find that interesting. And it's you know, their personalities are still poking out regardless of like it. You know, it could very easily be the U.S. extremes, but somehow you still, you know, whether it's Jer with this little arm pump after he lands something, or you can see like people's personalities poking out through the runs. I really like, I would say basically everyone in that. Yeah, this is great because now you're making me panic.
You're kind of locking up on us, Dave. We need you to come up with some insightful answers here.
Yeah, no, all of them. I like it. I like everyone.
Guy hasn't seen a Slush magazine ever.
Scratching his head, snowboarders. Yeah. Interesting. Who's an interesting snowboarder? I like Temple.
Well, yeah. So
Gary from Gary Benderson.
I mean, even if he says them, we're not going to know him anyway.
Yeah. 95% of the names thrown out of unfamiliar.
Yeah, unfortunately, the people I ride with the most are old people. Mm-hmm. I get to ride with Cannon and Mateus. Those guys are great. They're hilarious the way they see stuff and charge it. I'm not doing laps with people as much. I got a 6-year-old. Ninja is going to ask the question, what's it like having a 6-year-old who skis? Probably. But I do ski with my son some of the time. I also, all of it's rad. All those girls that uninvited were rad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to keep it moving. We got a buzzer beater. You seemed like you were really excited for the question. I'm not going to say you nailed that one, Dave, but you did okay. We're going to keep it moving.
I really like seeing me ride.
Andy Hetzel, who didn't get back to me yesterday, but buzzer beater just texted in. He said, he sent me a picture that says, my dad was patient of the month at Betty Ford Clinic. Bad Dad Club. Ask Sip about the Bad Dad Club. BDC.
BDC. You may have seen it on people's snowboards before. It was really popular there around 2003, 2004. Andy and I were still getting after it. We both had kids. He had Ava. I had Sailor. We were trying to get rad. I had the Boost Mobile job. I don't think Andy had a job. He was still like a Ralph Lauren model or something at that point. But we would get after it. We had this great idea that the Bad Dads Club is who we were. And we had my favorite t-shirt was, it was a little baby on a stack of tires. And it's like, I'd rather change a tire than a diaper. But yeah, it was like, fuck, if TikTok would have been around when we did that, we'd be so rich right now. Because it was just like I don't think either of our babies' mamas were impressed with what we were doing. But yeah, we had shirts and stickers. I don't think we sold anything. We just put money into stuff to make us laugh. BDC.
All right, we've been talking a lot about...
The best bumper sticker, Andy came up with it. It's on a couple cars out there still today out in the wild, but it's honk if your wife's a bitch.
Oh,
BDC.
All right, I'm going to change gears. It's somewhat related, I think. Somehow I can weave these things together, but you've been talking about basically deleting beers and little bit of subtle drug use. You know, in the action sports space, a lot of people deleting beers, a lot of people using drugs. You got a take on any of this in our space?
Yeah, I mean, I have a personal take for sure. Just of moments that like partying kind of screwed things up. For me personally, I remember the day out with the Hatchets where I was staying at Kevin Jones's house. Actually, it was Jim Rippey's house. I was staying with Kevin. It was like the most epic Tahoe year, riding Red Dog every day because it stormed every day. Excuse me. And we'd go to the Tahoe taps every night. And Kevin had a girlfriend. He'd fight with her and they'd disappear and I'd just be at the taps by myself. So I'm like, I think I can finish the bar. And put a pretty good dent in it. But it was just like, I don't know, blowing it, kind of drinking. And then I'd been out. Kevin disappeared. He finds me, tracks me down at like 4:35. He's like, it's on. I'm like, fuck. What's on? And I'm hammered. And Hatchets were like, Bluebird, it broke. We're going. Rippy's coming. We're going to build this jump. It's going to be epic. And I'm just puking. And we drive out to the jump and DJ Sullivan comes out to shoot photos and the whole 9 yards. And I remember being at the top of the jump and just telling Jones, like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I'm kind of hurting. And he's like, oh, well, best landings are now. Do your best trick. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I can go straight. Like, I don't know. And Rippy goes and he does some Rippy thing. I go, I can't even do a 180. Like, I just put in the biggest bomb hole there's ever been. And then Kevin goes, and of course, Kevin stomps the first backcountry 1080 or whatever. And day goes on, I just give up after a while. And we get back to the car, and DJ Sully's just like, fuck you, Sypniewski. You wasted our time. You wasted the film. This was a spot someone else could have, and just laid into me. And my Hatches didn't say anything. It was just like, whatever. And I just remember like going home so disappointed. Like, that was my shot. Like, you know, I was filming with the Hatches that year. Like, I had a got invited, had a shot to pitch in the big show. And it's just like, you got drunk instead. Like, you couldn't manage your time or manage whatever. And so there's definitely times where I'm like, fuck, drugs and alcohol are bad. And seeing close friends, you know, have substance abuse problems, have it affect them. You know, it's a legit serious thing. I think outside of beer, which is still alcohol, but it's not that bad. You know, my party ended after I was at an ASR with a close friend, and we were driving back, and we're in my car. I'd bought this Audi. It's like the first adult car I ever had. And I'm looking over, and he's fucking like has a flame cooking this shit up, and it's like burning my glove box. And I was like, what the fuck are we doing? And like dropped him off. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. Checked out. Party's over. I think that's basically when the party ended for me. But I think, you know, for me personally, a lot of it is, you know, being honest, is just self-medication. Not just insecurities, but like neurodivergent, like anxieties and all that. So I think this shit affects everyone, whether you're a snowboarder or not. And it's kind of a gnarly thing, you know, and people deal with it. They don't deal with it. I think I've got this big dream that one day, how do I explain this? So in addition to seeing people close to me within skateboarding, was not only substance abuse problems, but also mental health problems and suicide and stuff like that. And then having stuff that's close to home to me. At one point, I got introduced to this organization called Music Cares, which is a nonprofit that basically helps people in the music industry. So not just artists, but like sound people and producers, engineers, stuff like that. And what they do is within music, if you're having a problem, they help you out. And it may just be, hey, you know, here's someone to talk to. Maybe, hey, we're going to put you in rehab and take care of it for you. Or it may be, hey, you're having a mental health crisis. We'll get you somewhere safe and have you talk to someone. And it's a real amazing organization. And I think it would be amazing if Snow Skate Surf had something like that. There's just so many people that we're friends with, that we connect with, have issues. And it's not just drugs and alcohol, it's mental health shit. Could be for a variety of things, but there's organizations in skateboarding like Ben Raymer's foundations. There's already some in snowboarding too. I think, does Leanne have one?
Well, there's somebody's thinking about you, which is suicide prevention that Desiree has.
Or Desiree, sorry.
Yep.
Desiree's got that.
Yep.
But I think it would be rad to see just a music cares thing for snow skate and surf, and make it not just for athletes, but the shop kid and, the guy that has been pressing boards for 30 years or just the whole industry. We all got in this thing, like I was saying before, that we all have these shared values and these bonds. It's like there's an opportunity to help each other out a little bit more. I would love to be the one to raise my hand and say, I'll do it. But, I know myself, and it's like, don't know if I could spearhead it, but if anyone would start it, I'll help out in a heartbeat. But Music Cares, look it up. It's a sweet organization. I talked to Chad Denena about it a bit. He's the one who introduced me to him. But yeah, I think our lives aren't going to get any easier, right? It's becoming more complicated. The social media stuff makes it more complicated. Whether it's a variety of things, I think reach out. It's not just checking in with your friends, tell them you love them. It's like, it's a bit more than that, right? I'm a parent, so I definitely think I focus on my kids, and then it's like, oh wait, your kids, you have different relationships with different people. And even like my children are like, oh, I'm so close to them, I would know everything. It's like, no, you don't. You have to ask. You have to get engaged. You have to follow up. You have to do these things. And it seems daunting and like a lot of work, but it's easier to do this work now than these other things happening.
Well said.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
It'd be sick.
What's that?
If you guys listed some of those organizations on your
100%
website.
Easy.
And there's ones that, like, the government has a bunch of different ones that are pretty rad. Even if you link out to those, there's resources out there.
100%.
I think it's scary for me when people think they're alone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like that's the scariest part. And again, it could be suicide prevention, it could be drug and alcohol, it could be you're learning something about your sexuality. It could be any number of things that you're dealing with. But yeah, just the idea that you're alone is a scary one.
100%. Yeah, punting your head off the ground, which a lot of action sports people have done. A lot of concussions. Okay, moving things along here. We have a question. How old are you, Dave?
53.
53. Okay. Need a little context for that. This is from Ika Backstrom.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Hey, Dave, it's your neighbor, Ika. Can you tell us about the time we went to Tony's ramp? You hadn't skated in 10 years. You had a brand new Christmas complete. First drop in went for a little slippery 50-50. You ended up doing an antrack and a frontside air straight into the channel. Hyped to listen to this episode. Hope you guys are having a good time.
Was there a question there?
Yeah, no, he just wanted to tell you how rad I was. Thanks, Ika, for that. Also, Ika will now be representing me. He's an agent at Wasserman, so you can negotiate my fee with him.
Okay, sounds good.
I will say, Ika, he's someone from a younger generation, but I've known, knowing him and Curtis and those guys, it's been a unique thing. And watching, it's a crazy thing to watch the group of people right below you sort of transition into their lives, and this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're doing it, and how do we navigate it. And, it's fun watching that. It's fun watching everyone build their shit up. And I think the quote unquote old heads are always here to help out. I don't like that old heads word. Can you Can we not use old heads? Hate that.
I'm personally going to keep using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheddar biscuits.
He's kind of triggered by the old heads. It seems like a little
Makes
bit
you want to use it more.
Yeah, a little bit triggered.
Oh, geez.
So what's this being 53? What's the ticket? You know,
Powder.
Riding powder.
Powder.
That's the ticket to the skating vert too.
Skating vert. No. So Michael Burnett, who I worked with at Thrasher, I never could tell if he was like complimenting me or making fun of me. But he would be like, "You're the ultimate confidence man." Because like you do these events or you do things, it's just like everything's falling apart. You're like, "No, I got it. PMA, it's going to work out. Got it." So I think like the skateboarding shit's just like, "Yeah, I got it." Fucking. And then you just try. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But in my mind, I just think I got it.
That's good stuff.
You should see me ride a dirt bike. It's horrible. I think I got it.
But you skated vert like that's what you skate. You didn't skate street really.
No, I am not good.
Like you were skating vert with Sean White at the YMCA.
Yeah, I was.
And then you're skating vert later and like
skating transition mostly, right? The mini ramp was the holy grail for me. Like if you get a good 6-foot wood mini ramp that flexes when you fall on it, that's heaven. Maybe an extension on it, that's heaven.
Mm-hmm.
But vert's fun because you just go really fast. The hardest part about vert is like timing. Once you get your timing done, it's great. But Tom Shar, holy shit.
Next level.
Yeah. That was a step.
Blake's a big vert dog.
Yeah, huge.
You should
Super
see him.
loose
You should
trucks.
see him on that.
Okay, do you want to know the real secret about the vert shit? Okay. Big Air Jer was in town and he was going to Birdhouse and Shay Donovan and Jimmy were like, "Oh, we're going to skate," and they were bullying me into it. And then someone said Jer was going. And I'm like, there's no fucking way Jer is going to be better at me than skating. So I went and skated. So it was out of spite.
He got a piece of the coping though, no? He was doing
Jer?
frontside grinds or something, right?
No, Jer's he was getting after
he
it
can
for
hit
sure.
the vert rim, yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
But you stalled like a proper Andrew. There's clips. Throw it up.
Wow. Yeah, we need to dig up those clips.
Yeah.
But you didn't even repost it, right? I think everybody posted all these clips and I was like, damn, like what the hell? And then you don't even want that smoke. Huh? You don't want people to know about that?
I don't want that smoke.
Yeah. All right.
How you
Humble
showing up?
beast.
How you showing up on the mani pad session though with me and Blake? That's the real question.
It's gonna be two tricks, manual, and then a scrapey nose where I fall over.
A mani and a scrapey nose.
No, Street Dave comes out. Hit up Krugs. Ask him about Street Dave.
All right.
I'll get after it. I'm not scared.
I like that you're not scared of the streets.
I'll tell you, skateboarding's easier when you're not fat.
I can actually vouch for that.
I'm going through a little work bout right now where I'm putting on some LBs.
You're working hard.
Yeah. What are you working on these days, Dave?
I'm working on open beer, which is the delicious premium lager I've been drinking this whole podcast.
What's going on with it?
It's a beer brand based out of LA. It's a premium lager, so it's just one liquid. It was started by some skaters and some artists, Tino Razzo, Don Nuge Nguyen, Akko and Tiba Jefferson. My wife Sandra is a part of it as a founder, and so is Ramon Taman, who's our master brewer. The company is a minority-owned beer brand. New Belgium is the co-packer, which means they brew the beer. They also are a seed investor in the beginning. It all started with the opportunity to help bring historically discriminated people into beer. So New Belgium being this amazing human-powered beer brand, the whole time I was working there, they had a DEI ESG team. They did lots of great things. They've always donated to environmental and social causes. They have collab beers, all these great things. One of the things that we talked about, especially after the George Floyd murder, was, and this was really all a beer, it wasn't just New Belgium, but it was like, why aren't more people of color or gay people participating in beer. Like what are the barriers? And part of it's not that there's these nefarious elements keeping people out. It's just part of it's geographical, right? A lot of craft breweries are in more predominant white areas. And then also with most jobs in most industries, you get into them through relationships, through, sort of that's your lifestyle type of thing. And beer doesn't really attract that way. So what we've done is really focused on building a values-based company. And within that, we've also looked at the investment portion of it as well, and invited people who are normally not offered investment opportunities to be involved. So we've taken a lot of, they call them non-accredited investors. So it's a lower dollar. So rather than just crowdsourcing it and taking your money and maybe get a t-shirt or something, they actually get equity. They're part of the business, and we help bring them along with what that investment is. That's all on the back end. So that's just like, hey, we're good people. We're making a good company. But on the front end, it's a totally bitchin' beer brand, right? We're building it to be a global beer brand. So more looking at Stella, Heineken, Modella, competing with them. And really the ultimate goal is to be that international brand where if you think about outside of maybe 200 to 400-year-old beer brands, there's not a brand that travels across countries. We're building a brand like Palace or Supreme or Off-White, works in Paris, LA, Tokyo, whatever. The packaging and the design is to be more like this gallery aesthetic. So we do what's called group shows. So we do 3 artists, a group show, and we rotate them out every 6 to 12 months, kind of like you would do skateboard graphics. And part of it is we're constantly refreshing the brand with the art and celebrating the artists, and making that a part of what the offering is. So the beer is always going to be the same delicious yellow premium lager, but the cans will always be interesting and something cool to look at. And we're really just trying to build a brand that 25 to 35-year-old people can be a part of. They can adopt it as their own. They can identify with it. You don't have to be, the lacrosse playing, skiing cowboy to be a part of it. There's no fucking flying eagles and MAGA hats. It's just an open beer brand.
Not going after the lacrosse demographic?
Not going. That's a polite. That's my polite way of saying rapey.
All right, I got a question. You've been working for all these other companies, spending all their money. I'm guessing you're a founder owner. Or
No.
You're not a.
No,
owner?
I'm. My job title is marketing director.
Okay.
So the founders, they came up with the name, they came up with the brand, they came up with how they wanted to do the packaging. I joined because we were hitting a point where it's like the volume's going to start growing. How you sell beer is not how you sell t-shirts. You can't just sell direct to consumer. You can't just make a bitching brand and hope it works. You have to work in the network of like selling into the bars, selling into the chain retailers, selling into the murder marts, having events, doing the stuff. Beer works on a 3-tier system. So we have distributors. So you have to work with distributors. Distributors have a bunch of other beers in their portfolio. So you need them to help you build your brand and get the business done. So after my 7 years in New Belgium, I know a little bit more of that than the founders. So I joined to help them with that and, help find ways that we can spend the money efficiently. If you build a brand and you spend all the money on the brand and you don't have your distribution, you're just wasting money. And if you build the distribution and you get all these places your beer's at and no one knows the brand, then you're just wasting your money. So I'm in there to help find that balance. But, in terms of sort of the branding, the creative, that stuff, that was established by Akko and Nuge and the team. So I'm really just helping facilitate that with them. And of course, we're one big team, so we all work together. But yeah, I'm an employee.
That's exciting. How's everything going? You feel hopeful about where we're headed with this thing?
I'm fucking loving it.
Yeah.
It's I've never really run a company head to toe myself. So it's like a lot of work, a lot of learning. Learning that communication's the hardest thing there is. You're just inundated with emails and texts and who do you get back to first and why. And also the money. I think think this, if I could go back 30 years and someone could make me do this, I would probably be really more efficient at those other jobs, because you do learn a lot more of like, you know, why are we doing this? What's the objective? What are we hoping to get out of it? And not just from a marketing and branding point of view, but sales and all that stuff. So, and there's, you know, people that are really good at building businesses. And I'm fortunate to know a lot of them. So I'm not alone. I have a lot of people I still reach out to and ask questions.
Who are some of the mentors you reach out to?
Steve Fetchheimer, who's the old CEO of New Belgium. He's a good one. It's a great question. I'm not going to give you my sources.
Yeah. Cool.
Ika, I talked to Ika about it.
Yeah, that's great. He's probably got some great advice.
Yeah, the nice thing about Open is, again, it's a business. It's a job I can be proud of. I think when I think back on all my jobs, Thrasher is like the easiest one for me, because it's like I was never embarrassed to tell someone I worked at Thrasher. I was like, "Where do you work, Thrasher?" It's like, "Yeah, that's right." There's some of the jobs I'm like, "Oh, I work at Boost Mobile." They're like, "Oh, okay." New Belgium was great. I was really proud to work there because they were such a great company, and to be part of Open, to be doing shit with Akko and Nuge and all them, it's like a pretty big honor for me, and for them to trust me with a lot of the work. It's like pretty exciting.
That's so cool. So you're putting in all this work for this brand. Like, what's the ultimate goal for Open?
The ultimate goal is to be the fucking global beer brand that everyone wants to drink. The goal is to have the beer represent who all of us are. Art's really important to all the founders and a lot of the investors. But it's not just the art, it's the music, it's the shared values, it's the lifestyle. Making sure that that's being communicated out. What's important, there's people start businesses for all sorts of reasons. I think within beverage or consumer packaged goods, like a lot of people start things and they try and flip them. It's like, oh, we're going to build this and I'm going to make you rich in 3 years. And it's like, that's a okay model, but we look at this as like, this is ours and this is a part of us and a reflection of us. So the ultimate goal, for me is to build it into a global beer brand. And if there's, an opportunity to sell it and make the investors rich, I'm fucking down for that. And, if it just becomes the greatest beer brand ever made and we all make money off it, I'm down for that too. But it's a business, right? The ultimate goal is to make money.
Yeah. Cool, but it's making money with good values, which is, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's not hard to do either.
Did you just get your black belt in jiu-jitsu?
Yes, I did.
Damn. What do you think would happen if I tried to attack you right now?
Who do you think you got in the snowboard? Who do you think has you in the snowboard industry?
Yeah,
because I kind of feel like I was talking to Chris Brewster the other day, and he was claiming like I think I could take anybody because he used to wrestle and he's strong, and I'm like, I think you could take anybody.
I don't know. Any given day, the thing about fighting or grappling or whatever you want to talk about, like there is just one, it's any given day. Two, it's what's your sort of constitution. You know what I mean? Like, do you like to fight? Because that helps. Like having a little dog in you helps. But there's also like age and weight. Those things matter. Like I roll with dudes that are technically I'm better than, but I get a fucking 28-year-old, 210-pound enthusiastic person. I'm having a time, Like it's not Kung Fu theater on Sunday, right? There's no magic in it. There's still physics and shit. So,
but the technique is all.
Yeah, but the technique takes you to a certain point, but then it's just reality, Like a 28-year-old dude and a 53-year-old dude, there's a big strength difference. Like whether you want to admit it or not.
What the crazy thing too is like endurance. When I go home, I always fight with my older brother. We just fight, right? We're not classically trained in any way, just two goons throwing their weight around. I'm gassed 30 seconds, dust.
Yeah.
When you're actually fighting a good fighter, I can't even imagine.
I know I've done a few tournaments. I've had success, and then I've most recently had a failure. And my failure was I was unprepared, and I just went like, "Oh, we're gonna go fight, and I'm good, so I'll win." And the dude had like a game plan. He was gonna get his points and stall, and it's kind of a life metaphor of like, if you want to do something, you gotta fucking prepare for it. And like I was trying to lose my weight, weeks in advance, just not feeling strong. Didn't think about what I was going to do, and I lost. And a lot of it doesn't say I'm good or bad, it just says I was unprepared. And I think that, if you talk to high level athletes, even high level snowboarders, like, hey, why didn't you do better? It's like, well, I was unprepared. I didn't get enough time practicing, or I didn't do whatever. It's like, if you want to be great at something, you got to put in the work. Sad but true.
Probably helps with skating and snowboarding and all that too.
The skating and snowboarding helps the jiu-jitsu.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, because your balance and your sort of core strength is a lot stronger. And I've never been like a gym dude. Like gyms are weird to me. Like I can see myself in the mirror. Like I can't do that. That's so weird. So the jiu-jitsu for me is great because I can go and get exercise without having to see myself. And not unlike snowboarding, it's just fucking fun. Like I like it.
Cool. Well, we're going to get into hot takes. Who is your GOAT, your MJ, however you want to put it, to you, both male and female in snowboarding?
Man, the GOAT thing's a hard one, right? It's going to be Terrier for just ultimate board control. Male. Fuck, I think that Zoe kid is so good. I think if she's not already, she's gonna be. I think she's got skills for sure. Since I fumbled the current snowboarding question earlier, like, I think there's a lot of young people. It's hard to go like, who's the GOAT? Because the game's changed so much, right? So my knee jerk's Terrier, but fuck, there's some fucking rippers right now. So I humbly reserve the right to rename someone in like 5 years, but Terrier's it for me on board control. Honorable mentions would be obviously Jamie and Peter Line. On the dudes, girl wise, we already mentioned Michelle Taggart, and yeah, I think that Zoe kid. Fuck, she's good.
Okay, this question sucks. Would you consider snowboarding an art form, sport, or lifestyle?
What was the guy's name from Patreon?
James Crosby.
Yeah. I would call it a moneymaker. Me and James are all on the same page with that one.
Good answer. Who's one of the most underrated snowboarders in your opinion?
Fuck, I really like Blair. Like he's one of my favorite snowboarders.
It's a good one.
I like that. Steel or powder?
Pow, dog.
Fuck. Who's got your favorite style ever?
Peter Line.
Who's got your favorite method?
Temple.
What's your favorite snowboard video ever made?
Steak and Lobster.
What's your favorite board graphic?
Perillo's Jamil Khan series for Terrier's boards.
What's your favorite band?
How am I feeling?
Just today, right now.
I need Slayer.
Could change in 5 minutes. I like it. You go heliboarding 3 people in the bird. Who's going with you? Good times. No cameras.
It would be 6 people, and it would be Brian Henderson, Billy Anderson, Andrew Etzel, Jeff Penacero, Ika, Curtis.
That already happened.
We get one of those.
Already happened. I just want to run it back. That was the best day of my life.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Top of the fucking pyramid.
Peaking moment.
Dude, it doesn't get any better.
All right, go to backcountry, like a little pat down, a little step down. Got to land. What you doing?
Tail grab.
Wait, are we talking freestyle jump or just making it down the hill?
No, freestyle. Like, maybe there's a photographer there. You got to do something cool.
The safest thing is always going to be a cab 5.
Agreed. Blake, what you got?
Back 3, even easier.
Yeah. I can't make those photo well, but you can. Okay.
No, he said like pat down, step down.
Yeah, he's still going back trace Lage.
You're still going back 3 off that?
When's the last time you fell in a back 3, Blake?
I don't know.
Like 20 years ago? All right, we'll keep it moving here.
When's the last time you buttered your board?
Like a little butter?
Yeah.
I do it all the time, but it's not getting caught on film or anything.
That's my favorite shit about snowboarding. Like back when UC and Peter Line and they would butter fucking 100 miles an hour in and then do their whirly birds.
Yeah.
That was, to me, that was the coolest freestyling.
Okay, loves butters, loves 1-footers, hates tail grabs. All right,
I'm like an onion.
Loves camber. And 1-footers.
Yeah, okay. Pandora's box. All right, dream sponsor, anything. Not in the snowboard realm, preferably. Don't be like, oh, fucking Mervin. I fucking, like.
Yeah, that wasn't going to be my dream sponsor anyways.
Good.
What is my favorite brand of anything?
Like if you could be sponsored by, like an example, we've said, I think about like Home Depot, being able to walk in there.
Yeah, I'm going Lego.
Legos?
Yeah, I got a 6-year-old.
Oh, wow.
I would love a Lego sponsorship.
All right. Anybody at Lego? Well, you could have Ika reach out. He's your new agent. He might be able to line that up.
Maybe Signal can do it every third Thursday and we can make a Lego board for me.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Marketing campaign, the whole 9.
Where you at, Dave Lee?
Yeah, make it happen. Last question, worst trend?
Oversharing on Instagram.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
It's good. That's
but I mean, oversharing your own perspective and feelings. Reposting shit's fine. But when you're like, this is how I feel today, and this, like, maybe once a month.
Okay, I like it. Loves 1-footers, hates tail grabs,
loves beer,
loves butters, hates oversharing.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. All right, a couple more things. Current snowboard setup you're riding?
I got the Bank Country 162. I think I'm like mid-20s on the front foot, -4 on the back foot. Old Burton, some sort of Burton binding, like some soft flexi ones. And then I keep my ion wide liners, but I get new ion outers. So I like those ions.
This is a Burton boot?
Yeah. I'm a weirdo. I like the stiff boot, soft binding. That's
what I like.
Yeah. Like that function.
Sell me on that.
More control.
Yeah. You should see me turn. That's what I like to do.
Are you faster than Billy?
Not at his own race. He seems to win it every year.
What about a Baker?
He didn't go this year. Billy and I have a legacy of betting money against each other. And we dispute who's lost more over the years. So I would love to one day figure that out. We have a little trophy at Mount Baker, a side trophy, the Sypniewski that we race for. So I am daring Billy to show up this year.
Well, Billy has a guest question for you.
Oh, God, here we go.
This is a good kind of wrap things up, throw a bow on it. So, no pressure here, Dave, but lock in.
What up, Bombhole? What up, Dave? Quick question for you. I feel like you've put snowboarding first throughout your career. What advice would you give to the next generation? Thanks. Talk to you guys later.
My advice would be love it every day. Like, it's so much fun. If you're having a bad day, hit the reset button and then go back out because it's fucking fun. There's stresses in life forever. And when you can go if it's an hour or a full day or a full week, snowboarding is just where it's at. I think it's just keeping it fun. Can't go wrong.
That's great. It's very simple, but needed to hear it. Hard to do in middle of summer, but well said. All right, what's next for Dave Sypniewski?
I'm going to be working on open beer. That's my focus. We're Southern California, Nevada, so catch me down there. Come have a beer. And then I've got my family. I've got a grandchild now, and the whole family loves snowboarding. The boys skis and snowboards, but what's next is just getting them outside on the hill, shredding.
All right, Dave, before we wrap this thing up, do you want to thank anybody?
Yes. I want to thank everybody who ever gave me free gear in snowboarding. I appreciate you all. Shout out to Brian Henderson, best heli trip ever in my life. And thanks to you guys for having me. Really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for coming on, Dave.
First time podcaster, long time listener.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, first Dave Sypniewski podcast on the web.
Yeah.
I searched it. I couldn't find any.
Yeah, I hate the sound of my own voice.
Yeah, me too, to be honest. Yours, not mine. But just kidding. You sounded great. All right, who's doing our sign off? Dave? I think Dave should do the sign off.
Yeah,
Dave, take us out of the show.
Yeah, take us out.
Throw me one of those things.
What do you want? A smelling salt?
Yeah.
What are you pointing at? Oh, this
You got to put a nose strip on to open the nostril for the
Here.
salt.
We're just about out of salt.
I don't know what's upside down.
Yeah, you put them on.
Put it more
Wait,
between
when you
the
when you
eyes.
put the sticky
Yeah.
thing on, try not to take all the stick off with your fingers, so it actually.
Am I
stays
pulling it up?
Yeah.
You want it like up
bridge
here.
your nose, and kind of between your eyes and your flare your nostrils.
This is why I still snore.
Yep. All right. Here we go. Those are available
Looks
at
about it.
runthroughawall.com.
The exact same
Yep,
spot.
same
you
spot.
put it.
Yeah, not a good spot.
Up higher.
Yeah.
I think it should work.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. He's doubling down. Okay, the two stack.
You've never had this much oxygen in your body.
So you can be a professional and still have fun. Oh, run through the wall! That one got me.
All right, you got to do the sign off now.
What's the sign off?
Like just
whatever.
like thanks for
Don't worry about
listening.
Oh yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Tune in next week where we get more exciting guests.